Disscontent episode 100.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Okay.
Cheers to everybody.
Pura
Yes.
ASMR na because you're doing on top of the fucking camera only.
Yeah, full on.
The mic.
The camera or the mic. So, this is episode 100 of the Disscontent podcast. I am Aditya Khanna. With me are Bharat Misra
Hello.
and Himanshu Arya.
Hi guys.
And we have two more special guests on our 100th episode, who are Aishwarya Banerjee
Hi.
and Shreya Sethi.
Hello.
थोड़ा louder Shreya.
Hello.
हाँ, so basically this is a partners special. Without Himanshu, where is your girlfriend?
I guess I don't know. I mean,
As long as she's not imaginary, it's fine.
nahi, there is none na, right now.
अगर तुम उसे सुन रही हो इसे तो cheers.
If you can hear us,
अबे
यहाँ पर बीप आएगा मैं बता रहा हूँ ना. We are too used to live episodes जहाँ सब कुछ publicly बोला जा रहा है. अब ये calm down वाला है. So yeah, I mean when did we start this podcast? 2017.
Yeah.
And today it's 2023 and we have completed 100 episodes. It was a weekly podcast, and in a year there are 52 weeks.
And if I remember correctly, we did Mami ka roundup. The first episode.
Episode 1.
Episode 1 was Mami ka roundup.
अब ना Mami रहा ना ये podcast का consistency.
But Mami is coming back this year. So
Yeah.
Sponsored by Chalchitra Talks and Humans of Cinema.
yeah. Our friends.
Our friends.
What are we talking about today? What should we talk about?
I think we used to keep the podcast the way the reason we're going back to audio today is one, because we were supposed to shoot a video episode and Himanshu forgot the camera, so we are doing audio, and because we are doing audio, we thought we'll go back to ancient era and keep it a little random with us drinking alcohol. What is the best thing that we can talk about where our alcohol powers can be utilized?
I mean, something politically incorrect.
Something fuck all, something crazy.
That was a good callback na,
Yeah, exactly.
to the initial name of the podcast,
Oh,
which was
fuck,
there
yeah.
for about 50 episodes. So it was
Yeah.
called Politically Incorrect
भाई
Films Podcast.
मुझे अभी भी जब आदित्य का मेल आता है ना, तो मेल में लिखा आता है politically incorrect films mail, like sent you a mail.
वो तो छोड़ो, मुझे पता है क्या दिखता है. एक तो बोलना पता नहीं है. His earlier email ID was called
No. That was my blog was called Ronan All Day, and I had an email ID
हाँ.
called Porn All Day. Because I remember in one episode मेरे को कोई तो बहुत लोगों ने text किया
कॉलेज
था,
के बाद का बात है.
तो मैंने बहुत लोगों ने को text किया था blog लिखने के बाद कि मतलब people want to shit on me. So I told them you all can mail all your grievances to this email ID that I don't use. तो किसी ने नहीं भेजा.
नहीं तो काफी टाइम तक तो वो एक्टिव था email ID. जिस मतलब Disscontent का official ID था कुछ टाइम.
We were very serious about this.
Yeah, clearly.
From the very beginning, we knew.
PI Films podcast.
Or
Disscontent is the podcast formerly known as the PI Films podcast, and this podcast launched before all the great podcasts of this country.
We are proudly India's smartest podcast.
India's smartest.
Second only to
Second only to
Beer Biceps.
Biceps, correct.
Yeah.
If we have to find a superlative for ourselves, what is
What
it?
is it?
एक India's smartest तो चलो उसने पकड़ लिया. India's
least heard. नहीं.
least heard तो नहीं है. देख, मैं एक और podcast है जो मैं नाम नहीं लूँगा, पर वो लोग बहुत मेहनत करते हैं, ठीक है. वो लोग ने स्टूडियो बनाया. हमने देख आज तक हमने तो बोला कि ये इन्वेस्टमेंट वर्दी तो लग नहीं रहा. तो we just, but this one podcast has like a studio, multicam setup, okay, proper edit.
Do I know
they
this?
call, maybe you do. It's not very again, it's not, but उनके 400 व्यू आते हैं यार एपिसोड पर. हमारे भी उतने ही आते हैं, बट हम लोग कोई मेहनत करते हैं. हम लोग के लाइव एपिसोड पे तो 800-900 तो आ ही जाते हैं कुछ भी करके.
पर मुझे लगता है ये भी एक फैलेसी है कि देखो मैं मेहनत नहीं करता तब इतने आ रहे हैं.
हाँ.
करता होता तो क्या हो जाता.
नहीं,
बट वो कभी नहीं
होता. तू उतनी मेहनत कर सकता है, तू तेरी मेहनत उतनी है. हाँ, करेक्ट. तो सबको लगता है कि मैं थोड़ा और मेहनत करता, बट एक्चुअली द आइडिया की तो तेरी प्रोपेंसिटी उतनी ही थी, इसीलिए तेरा उतना ही मार्क्स आया. तो वो भी है.
हाँ.
I feel like थोड़ा टॉपिकल होना जरूरी है. तो we had earlier discussed talking about Shah Rukh Khan.
on the 100th episode.
100th episode में शाहरुख खान
नहीं,
हम
I
लोग
think we
सचिन
should-
की सेंचुरीज की बात करें कि 100
नहीं.
hundreds.
No.
हिमांशु बिल्कुल आउट हो जाएगा.
हाँ.
नहीं, I think you need to talk. We should talk about Disscontent only.
Hey, उससे पहले I wanted to ask you guys just a thought. What is your favorite guest episode?
I have not been on a single guest episode.
हाँ, this is the thing, guys. If anybody of you,
I've been on the
listening
Pulkit one.
हाँ,
And you've been
Polumi?
on by Polumi वाले में नहीं आया था.
नहीं, but I've also been on the Ghar Wapsi one.
हाँ, correct.
And he's been on about one episode which Bharat wasn't on with Sudhish Kamath,
Oh, right.
well-known indie filmmaker.
Yeah.
नहीं तो उसका ना like the podcast ना was fun and all. After it got ended and then the conversation we had post
Was fun, better.
was like podcast worthy.
But that's happened a lot, huh? मतलब
हाँ.
मुझे लगता है with Jaideep Verma also.
हाँ.
I remember he was kind of taken aback and disappointed. Ki, oh, I thought you guys were supposed to be politically incorrect.
हाँ.
And then he shat on for 10 minutes.
No. So just to let people know, Jaideep Verma came on the podcast. By the way, big fan of Jaideep Verma here. Okay.
Yeah.
And the
goes without saying.
I think that
It
might
should
be
be
one of
said.
my favorite episodes for
Yeah.
sure. But the thing is, वो आया था भरत के पुराने घर पे और वो हम भरत और मेरी फटी हुई क्योंकि we had heard some like we had spoken to some people who knew that he has a bit of a short temper.
और मेरे घर में गद्दे हैं सिर्फ, हाँ. तो हम
हाँ.
लोग गद्दे में
तो
बैठे
हमने उधर
फर्श
का
पे.
मुगल सेटअप किया हुआ था.
दीवान पे.
हाँ, दीवान बनाया हुआ था पॉडकास्टिंग के लिए और हमने बेसिकली हम लोग की बहुत फट रही थी कि यार ये आएगा, we'll be very nice and we'll be like हम लोग ऐसे और हम लोग को लगा कि हम लोग यार we have to really be prepped up to talk to this guy.
Yeah.
तो देन हमने बहुत प्रेप करके आया, हमने बात शुरू की, 1 घंटा हो गया, पॉडकास्ट खत्म हो गया, भरत को कहीं पर जाना है बट he can't go because Jaideep Verma wouldn't stop talking.
Yeah.
And which was nice only, but तेरे को जाना था.
हाँ.
And then he shat on not for 10 minutes, he shat for an hour.
Yeah.
So the amount of time that we spoke about on the podcast, उतना हमने off podcast भी उतनी ही बातें की, which was nice. What do you guys say? What do Aishwarya and Shreya, have you guys heard most of the episodes of this podcast?
I've heard a couple, not most.
Which couple have you heard?
Some.
Wow.
But have you, Shreya, have you heard any?
So most of them I've heard live
Nice.
because when y'all were talking, I used to be there. But like even the other ones, I've heard quite a few like on the live, commented also sometimes.
Yeah.
I really liked the Rahul Desai chat also because it was topical and he was very passionate about sports documentaries for some reason. And he recommended a bunch of good ones.
Yes.
And I think I remember one recommendation of his which I loved, which I still love as one of my favorite documentaries, was Last Goal Wins. You guys have watched it?
No.
So okay, good trivia point. Last Goal Wins is a film, upcoming movie by Taika Waititi, जिसका trailer आया था by the way, if you guys remember recently. About the football coach who goes to train the American Samoa team, which is the worst team in the world,
Right.
to win one game.
Right.
Okay. It's based on an actual true story of a coach who's like a decent coach, but he's sent to American Samoa का team जिन्होंने पिछले 80 गेम में एक भी गेम नहीं जीता. So they are only content with winning that one game.
Right.
It's a beautiful documentary. It's lovely. It's funny, and it's great. So
Samoa क्या होता है?
It's a place, Hemu.
अच्छा.
Samosa with the second S silent.
yeah.
Samoa.
नहीं, but what is the game?
अरे भाई अमेरिकन सामोआ एक टीम है फुटबॉल
American
की.
Samoa
अच्छा,
एक
got it.
मतलब
जगह है.
वो हाँ.
ठीक है, thank you.
हाँ.
Thank you.
So that was
Nice.
any other favorites, Himanshu?
हाँ.
I think I have like a collective amnesia बोलते हैं ना इस. After I
सिर्फ
do.
तुझे ही है तो कलेक्टिव नहीं है.
हाँ, collective नहीं, मेरे मतलब collective episodes मतलब सारे episode को मिला के delete कर दिया दिमाग से.
You have amnesia basically.
हाँ.
So,
I forget what I say after I.
Wow, what an icon.
बताओ,
What an
जो
icon.
खुद ही पॉडकास्ट कर रहे हैं वो खुद ही फैन नहीं है. ये ऐसा पॉडकास्ट जो हम खुद ये वो डायलॉग कौन सा आप खुद अपना कार्ड है वो लकी लकी में ना
हाँ.
आप खुद ही अपने हेटर है. आप ये
आप ही troll है.
हाँ.
अरे पहले क्या हो रहा था ना, मैं सुनता था
अच्छा.
अपने एपिसोड क्योंकि हम लोग ऑडियो में थे तो साउंड क्लाउड में आई यूज्ड टू लिसन टू देम. ओके, तो I was logged in on SoundCloud on the same like what do you call it?
Account.
Yeah.
Correct.
The Discord.
Clearly on the third drink, Himanshu.
No, this is the first one. So PI Films का account से log in करके ना मैं सुनता था, and he used to like Aditya used to tell me to stop doing it because we are increasing our own views and it's just you listening to it back to back. And after that, I said, fuck it, I'm not going to listen.
But this is, by the way, the reverse.
Okay.
I told him, no, if you want to listen to it, log into our account and listen to it because तभी वो view your own thing if you listen doesn't count.
हाँ,
और
sorry.
तू अगर अपने अकाउंट से करेगा Frog 95 जो भी तेरा अकाउंट था उसका व्यू करेगा तो फिर वो व्यू की तरह काउंट होगा जो मेरे को तेरा वाला वो नहीं चाहिए.
हाँ, तो basically उसके बाद तो बंद जो किया रहा उसके बाद I stopped basically and it helped also. I feel like if I would like keep listening to all the episodes on like again and
You'd
again,
actually fall in love with the podcast.
Yeah.
No, I think I'll stop talking well. Like I'll stop giving जितना कम बोलता हूँ उससे भी कम नहीं बोलना मुझे. So that's why I don't know.
But why is it that you don't want to be part of this one, like the group कह रहा हूँ यार, guest episodes?
It's not. There's nothing to it. I didn't.
like,
so the first couple of ones, na, I really couldn't be a part of. I remember it. I had like valid reasons because it was happening during the day. Because guests would come during the day or their timings wouldn't match, and we were doing it online, and I was at work. I think that was a part of it. And then
ऐसा कुछ नहीं है.
Initially शायद रहा.
ये काफी बार ऐसा भी कर चुका है. गेस्ट का एपिसोड होने वाला है और आधे घंटे पहले बोलेगा somehow only on that day आसाम में लाइट चले जाती है. ये बहुत ही अच्छा एक्सक्यूज है कि आसाम में लाइट चली गई. बहुत ही बिलीवेबल चीज.
I think it's
बिलीवेबल है ना, तो कभी बोल सकता है.
ब्रो ऐसा मैं सच्ची बताऊं आज तक तुम लोग को झूठ नहीं बोला किसी बारे में. तुम लोग को लगता है ये सब चीजें
भाई ये तो
verifiably झूठ बोला तूने.
ये verifiably untrue है.
नहीं. बताओ कब झूठ बोले. See, I'll tell you. I might take my time to not say stuff like when I'm coming, what I'm doing, but it's not exactly. I'm not lying.
हाँ.
I in fact में तो I think तूने upfront बोला था ना कि नहीं आना मुझे यार.
अबे नहीं यार मैं busy था. मैंने तुम लोग को बताया था I was busy that.
Okay ठीक है. We hear you.
Yeah.
It's
we here for you. We here for you.
Also, I think I like to talk to you guys, you know, like you guys are friends and we chill around. Like, I mean, the ambition of, you know, getting a guest and entertaining and then also listening to them. The whole idea of, you know, making the channel grow. That seems to be like a little difficult for me. I feel like I'm not the right person for it. I don't have the right
I don't think
it.
any of us are the right people for growing a channel. Growing anything that is so public facing.
Yeah.
You know?
But I think if there is one person who is closest to it, it's you. It's Aditya.
That is more out of sheer force because तुम लोग तो करते नहीं organize ठीक है episode तो वो करना पड़ता है. ऐसा नहीं मेरा अच्छा है वो.
I remember
थोड़ा सब उल्टा बोल रहा है.
I'll tell you there was an awkward period where we had said कि यार let's take turns leading.
हाँ.
And then I think I said okay fuck it, let me lead in one episode. And within 10 minutes, I realized, okay, nahi hoga. I think we have that recording also where I'm trying to be like, okay, guys, what do you... And it was so bad, man. I remember.
मैं बता रहा हूँ ये लोग मेरा इतना मजाक उड़ाते हैं शुरू के 2 एपिसोड में क्योंकि मैंने गलती कर दी. ये भगवान की तरफ से मैं बोल रहा हूँ ये गलती हो गई मेरे से. मैंने सेगवे वर्ड यूज कर दिया था. ठीक है एक बार तो ये लोग पूरा टाइम सेगवे करते थे भाई. ठीक है सेगवे जैसे बोलना. Anyway, इसका मैं सेगवे लेता हूँ. To be like, Shreya, what is your favorite episode? Because you were talking about that. And you've been on an episode also. You're not allowed to say your own episode.
Oh yeah, you have.
Severance
the
wala.
Severance episode.
Oh yeah.
Where I just kept talking about theories. That was all I was talking about. But I was listening to the Scorsese episode recently and I kind of really liked that.
Episode number 4.
Yeah, episode number 4 of PI Films.
Of course.
हाँ.
But like, what did we talk about in it? Is it like?
भाई वो तो मैं बता रहा हूँ जब अब तो हम भूल ही गए कि हम कैसे पहले वाले पॉडकास्ट जो अभी हम लोग कर रहे हैं वैसे करते थे कि we used to just be like okay this director और इसकी बातें करनी है तो then we would just go through their entire filmography of whatever you watch.
No, I think you guys used to crack a lot more jokes at that time because like there are sounds of the whiskey pouring and there's
a lighter being switched on every now and
then you guys were more open, I feel.
Also the general vibe of the scene was a lot chiller back in 2017.
I think we were very angsty.
We
hated people with like, you know, a lot of passion. Like,
Also we were
fuck that guy.
That's why I still hate people. ऐसा वो कुछ
No,
नहीं
but
है.
I think हम लोग अभी थोड़ा वो हो गए, stunted हो गए in the sense कि
हाँ.
भाई हाँ यही है, दुनिया यही है बहनचोद.
वो अभी ऐसा हो गया कि ये इतना बड़ा चूतिया है और मैं भी थोड़ा
भी
चूतिया
क्या ही
ही हूँ.
करूँ.
वो भी अभी थोड़ा वैसा हो गया है.
No, I don't agree actually, because I feel like y'all are in a very unique space when it comes to your podcast, and because y'all are creators yourselves,
Right.
and you have a podcast on
Yeah.
film and pop culture, so that puts you in a very unique position, which I don't see any other podcast being
Correct. Yeah.
That's true.
in. And that's what makes it interesting. Your take is interesting, and when anyone is consuming any kind of content, it's about the taste of it. You all are the curators of taste.
Mm.
Wow.
So because you're creating something, and it is, in my opinion, like of my taste,
Mm.
so it is something of consequence.
Right.
So your take is also something of consequence because you are connected with the field.
Mm.
Yeah, I agree. Although this is coming from somebody who 2 minutes ago admitted that she's heard 2 episodes, a couple of episodes of the podcast.
I was
But
exaggerating.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because this is also how I also kind of look at it. Is that जैसे अभी whatever podcasts or whatever are kind of colleagues in this field, right? Are like, I would say Chalchitra or Humano's and all Cinema Wali, all these people.
Yeah.
Correct? Cinema Wali less of course she is more focused towards video essays.
Yeah.
But these guys are like, the way you grow in this is by calling guests and like popular guests, right?
Yeah.
The thing is, we have I like
Throwback
the
sound.
drinking sound effect. Yeah.
Let's do it closer to the
तो
mic.
हाँ एक बार mic पे भी कर दे. If we can like sample this
Yeah.
and put it throughout the episode. कि वो ही चले जा रहा है.
Everyone take a shot every time you hear some ASMR.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
So yeah.
We are definitely taking a shot every time.
I mean, we're not calling guests. Also, I don't think any of us have that urge to call like very very famous people on the podcast just because and making it about them.
Yeah.
Because ये podcast हमारे narcissism को feed करने के लिए बनाया गया है. किसी और का narcissism उससे matter नहीं करता. तो वो एक है.
I also think fuck मैं भूल गया क्या बोलना था. तू बोल.
Proper throwback to the
Yeah.
previous episodes.
I was just going to add one thing, sorry, just for
Yeah.
cutting in. There is also a difference when we were talking about the guest episodes, right? So, there is a difference between other podcasts doing guest episodes and how you all do it. So, there is a more journalistic angle that they take. Journalistic, I don't know what's the word, yeah. So, obviously you have to ask a set number of questions, you have to do your research and everything, but because you all are creators yourselves, I feel like the conversation flows in a much more organic way.
Right.
So that is also different, and it's not, again, as you were saying, Khanna, like it's not just about making it about the guest.
Right.
Because you can actually add your 2 cents and it makes sense because you've created something.
And just to add to that, I felt this the most in the Ghar Wapsi episode.
That was
Because
a fun one.
I was both in that, right? I
Yeah.
was the interviewer and interviewee. So I felt first of all, I felt really happy. I felt happy because you guys had watched the show.
Right.
And at least to my understanding, liked the show.
Yeah.
Enough to sort
right.
of go through it, ask questions. And I felt like initially I was a little nervous because I didn't know how Ashwin, KK and Tatsat would sort of react. But all 3 of them texted me personally saying that they fucking loved it. And all 3 of them, not all, I don't know if all 3, but most of them said that they want to come back to the podcast.
Yeah, nice. You should get.
We should definitely get them because that was one of my favorite chats.
Yeah, man. That
To
was
be
a lot of
honest,
fun.
because everybody was a creator and we were open because we were connected through me, the guests and you guys. So I felt really cool.
Also, it was the only time that we did the podcast before in the morning hours. Okay, we did it at like 8-9 o'clock or something like that.
नहीं 10 बजे क्या था.
ऐसा ही कुछ मेरे लिए जो
बहुत जल्दी
जिस चीज को मैं 8 बजे कंसिडर करता हूँ वो तब हमने तब किया था.
एक जोक है ना उस मूवी में दन दनादन गोल.
हाँ.
Somebody says सुबह schedule है morning 5 o'clock you have to get up and work out. And they said सुबह 5 बजता है.
ये कश्यप की लाइन लग रही
ये
है.
अरशद वारसी बोलते हैं.
The beauty of Gandharaj and Gol as a film is that any line could come from Anurag Kashyap, Motwane or Vivek. There's a whole spectrum of opinions that you get.
What is your favorite episode, Himanshu? Come on.
यार मैंने I told you ना there's no ऐसे याद तो नहीं है but I think I've only had the most amount of fun when it's you three, you two, us three, and it's like the older ones were of course the ones in person are the.
They were really fun. I know that like when we are doing live chat and all, वो थोड़ा एक तो because you are constantly like self censoring जिसमें भरत करेगा भी वो भी नहीं वो करता नहीं है तो because we're doing that so it was definitely more fun to do the older episodes but I'll tell you what the ones I enjoyed the most are two एक तो दोनों में हिमांशु नहीं है ठीक है
कौन से वाले में
but not because of that but because एक था with शाश्वत.
Okay.
I thought that was a damn funny episode.
Yeah.
To the point that I remember somebody commented that their jaw was hurting while we were talking. और उसको लगा कि ये मतलब this was like a stand-up show.
Nice.
Like he was like कि this felt as funny. And then we had to tell him कि ऐसा नहीं होता है. Please go to a. And the other episode was one जब भी भरत और मैं गए थे एक post-release party of a show. And उस पार्टी हमने बहुत ज़्यादा दारू पी थी. तभी लोकसभा इलेक्शन भी हुए थे. और भरत और मैंने मेरे घर पे आके रात के 2:30-3 बजे रिकॉर्ड करना शुरू किया था लोकसभा इलेक्शन के ऊपर हमने बात की थी आधे 1 घंटे तक बहुत दारू पी थी और तुझे याद भी नहीं है एग्जिस्टेंस नहीं पता है ना
याद नहीं
है ये एपिसोड है अभी तो anyone who is interested in listening to us drunk and rambling about fucking elections after 2019 in this country you can go and listen to I'm looking up that episode episode number 32 Lok Sabha elections and other related movies is what that episode is called. That was a very funny episode.
Today na my sister texted me saying that her mother-in-law wants to hear the podcast.
Oh shit.
So which episode?
So which episode to suggest? I have no fucking clue.
मत भेजो. Send them the चलचित्र talks episode.
हाँ the diss talks है ना.
हाँ वो वाले.
They are the good ones.
They are the ones where we are the most sober. I think we are the most like gentle.
Yeah. Diss talks.
For some reason you guys fucking मतलब like fucked around.
You can say whatever you want to. We can edit. तो बोल रहा.
अरे नहीं you guys shat on like चलचित्र on the
diss talk.
We didn't shit on चलचित्र.
We kind of did.
For bullshit. Like I don't think there was any need for it.
भाई हम लोग मस्ती में बोलते थे.
क्या बोल देते थे?
कि if you really want to know what we talk about, come to our channel.
हाँ.
That is where we do the actual talk. Some bullshit like that.
Oh fuck ऐसा सब बोल
ऐसा बोला episode में तो ये सब बोला है.
एक episode में you guys suggested that there is some issue between Disscontent and चलचित्र. There is nothing.
That was just straight up we were joking only. वो तो
Nobody gets it now.
But you guys know ना कि diss talks के वजह से हमें बहुत लोग
हमें हमारा सब्सक्राइब मैं था हम लोग 1000 पता है कैसे पहुंचे सब्सक्राइबर तुम्हें पता है कैसे हुआ
हाँ याद है वैभव की वजह से
पता है कैसे वैभव की वजह से
उसने बोला था ऑनलाइन
नहीं पता है कैसे बोला था वो
कैसे बोला
950 पे थे हम लोग ठीक है हम लोग 950 सब्सक्राइबर पे थे और उसके बाद एक दिन वैभव वाज डूइंग अ स्ट्रीम with one of his friends on SpaceX and all that.
Okay.
So so Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos are also gone on to like with his whatever it's called, right? So these guys were like sort of they're in like Webber we found out he's really into Elon Musk and all these guys, right? I have a very adversarial viewpoint when it comes to these people, billionaires and all that. So it was a very healthy discussion. तो मैंने खाली उसमें comment किया था उनके live chat में. But he saw the comment and he was like come and talk only सीधे आके ही बात करो. तो आके बात करी तो मैं मतलब बहुत aggressive हो गया था और full argument ही हो गई और मैं मतलब I was just like going at it. और फिर end में calm down होने के time पे थोड़ा diffuse ऐसे हो गया कि I was just saying to go subscribe because we're gonna reach 1000 so help us reach 1000. तो वैभव ने बोला नहीं अभी ही करो 1000. So he was very nice. After me being a dick to him for like at least an hour, he was like, no, go and subscribe and make sure. And we reached 1000 in
on that.
Yeah, on
this
that
is emblematic of our relationship in general with चलचित्र talks. हम लोग उनको थोड़ा बहुत शेड देते हैं और वो हमें लिटरल शेड देते हैं मतलब they help us. भाई हम लोग उसके टॉक पे गए थे business of influencing people something like that. तो वहाँ जहाँ हम गए थे ठीक है and at the end of it dude he was so nice. There was a room full of people listening to him and in the end he thanked everybody who'd come Then he looked at us and said, "These are the funniest people on the internet." Some shit like some hyperbolic thing like that. कि भाई these are the funniest people I know and I can never be as cool as them. मेरा तो वहीं पे मतलब
एक कूल भरत ने ऐड किया उससे कूल नहीं बोला था
नहीं बोला था मैं इनके जैसा कभी नहीं हो सकता because I'm not as free as them on the ऐसा कुछ बोला था भाई उसने so I was like कि I was touched I was like दिया
भरत टच है मैंने उधर भी कुछ बोल दिया था
इसने वहाँ भी हक दिया कुछ
मैंने उधर भी बोल दिया कि हाँ ऐसा ही है
ये बोल दिया
ऐसे बोल दिया
मैं कहा fuck यार एक तो वो दे रहा है compliment and then he was really nice to us that day
but I think it also goes on to show that you don't have to have a fuck. I think nowadays on the internet everything has become like oh beef हो गया oh भाई okay सब लोग immediately वाला meme डाल देते हैं ठीक है तो it doesn't have to be like that. You can believe in different things and still be like friends-ish.
Yeah.
Like how Arnab is na.
Who?
Arnab Goswami.
तू अपने को रोक क्यों रहा है?
अरे नहीं we were just discussing it.
Preface there.
अरे Arnab Goswami mentioned it in like an interview na in some podcast. That he kind of the people he shits on
although I don't think this allegory I don't know who is
no even
who's Arnab Goswami in this
I don't know who's Arnab Goswami in this scenario
we
we are
because we are clearly the more toxic ones yeah that's true.
we are kind of
भाई I don't know if any of this
नहीं यूज हो सकता है थोड़ा सा अच्छे से एडिट करोगे ना तो हो जाएगा even what I'm speaking right now
इसको भी डिलीट कर देना
you know my personal favorite episode is the one we had with Vaibhav though.
Oh, at our Pocket
office. This is also a turning point for the channel because we had done Vaibhav's episode with I think this was on the 35 or something right before COVID. This was and uske baad like we used to talk, we became friends and nice an hour and a half long chat and I still remember that was at that time one of our longest episodes.
Yes.
And उस टाइम पर जब हमने डाला था and we just started putting up our episodes on YouTube. I don't know why we never not putting it on YouTube to begin with.
Yeah.
But जब हमने वो डाला, I remember somebody commented मतलब in that conversation we had just addressed that it's been 1 hour 45 minutes and the final episode that went was 1 hour 38 minutes. So somebody commented and said why did you delete those 7 minutes? तो YouTube पे नॉर्मली चूतिया ही होता है तो ऐसे मैं सीरियसली नहीं लिया उसको but it was still emulative showing that you know उसने ही हमको बोला था कि तुम लोग live जाया करो and you guys should consider going live and then during the pandemic they were going live. He used to keep calling Bharat you and me on the quiz and all that so उसके बाद we also started live और हमारा काफी उससे
Did we ever do an episode with Hindol on our channel?
Yeah, we have a couple of them
because this talks to किया मुझे याद है
हमने 2 किए Hindol के साथ.
There was one with movie like the Bollywood movies, no?
Fun Bollywood movies,
like other than Pulkit, I think with Hindol also there was an episode like that.
के साथ हमने किया.
Hindol वाला अच्छा लगता है मुझे tier वाला जो तूने हिमांशु स्टार्ट करवाया था हमसे जो अच्छा था. The tier list ranking. I loved that because we were interactive next level in that.
Right.
We were like नहीं इसको यहाँ नहीं ऐसा नहीं वैसा नहीं.
और उसपे ये tier list हमने किया था on the चलचित्र टॉक्स का डिस टॉक और हमने किया था स्टैनली कुब्रिक नहीं लियोनार्डो डिकैप्रियो tier list और इतनी गालियां पड़ी थी ना हमको कमेंट्स में क्योंकि हमने पता क्या किया था हम लोग वो भी दारू पी के और हमने बोल रहे थे कि ये मूवी के टाइम पर जब मैं देख रहा था मेरा मूड खराब था कुछ हुआ था तो it goes into D tier so like Revenant was like the lowest tier okay we did this kind of shit so people got हम लोग को लगा कि भाई फनी होगा कि इसमें क्या tier list हम लोग बसफीड है क्या हम लोग ये सब
हम लोग मजे ले रहे थे कि टियर लिस्ट नहीं जो तुम लियोनार्डो की बेस्ट फिल्म का टियर लिस्ट बना रहे हो क्या पागल हो गए और लोग सीरियस हो गए जैसे बीच वो
आई रिमेंबर
भाई ये तो कोई भी यूजेबल नहीं लग रहा है बिल्कुल भी
नहीं है
थोड़ा निकालना
मस्त आधे घंटा निकलेगा
solid tight half an hour निकलेगा with all sound effects and laughs and everything. Yeah.
15 minutes just.
This I'll put in the beginning as the teaser कि इसमें से कुछ भी निकल के हम लोग जो भी कुछ भी हम लोग इसमें डालेंगे हम लोग का पंगा ही होगा लाइफ में अगर इसमें से कुछ भी बोलेंगे.
अच्छा टॉपिक थोड़ा चेंज कर दो. Do you guys remember there was a period in the middle where
you were not there?
A year.
Himanshu was absent. मैं absent.
What did we say? Why he was absent?
हमने बोला कि वो गुजर गया. नहीं रहे हिमांशु आर्या बॉम्बे में जा चुके हैं गुवाहाटी ऐसा हो गया था वाला सीन.
But we said it like it was.
हाँ
We said कि चला गया.
हमने
पता नहीं वापस आएगा. ऐसा
हमने
बोला था.
लिटरली एकदम सोबर हमने बोला था कि हिमांशु इज डन विद बॉम्बे
And
he's gone.
We don't know if he's coming
Yeah.
back. And it's just the two of us. It was a weird time for sure, but
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
also good.
It was, I'll tell you what, actually I realized at that time having two people on the podcast is fucking amazing. Because the banter is a lot quicker. कि हिमांशु का मस्त होता है. Himanshu is like, he will say some crazy shit, okay?
Yeah.
But like he will take 2 extra seconds with it.
Yeah.
तो वो edit में मेरे को मेहनत करना पड़ता था. अगर 2 लोग होते थे तो edit में मेहनत नहीं करना पड़ता. तो वो immediately ऐसा फट करके निकल जाता था.
नहीं, but when Himanshu came back ना, is when I realized what we were missing.
Yeah.
Genuinely saying, not even kidding.
Absurdism. It's true. He
It's
brings
true.
a level of absurdism.
Yeah. It and genuinely the kind of hot takes that Himanshu has, those are very original.
Yeah.
मतलब मैं शायद hot take कहीं का borrowed दूंगा. ठीक है कि मैंने यार guys यहाँ पढ़ा था कि ये theory है. But with Himanshu it's like a theory unto itself.
हाँ सच में.
और हो सकता है बकवास हो.
हाँ.
But it sounds really good. You know. That's what
I remember the Lal Singh Chadda episode where I really complimented the film.
हाँ.
And
we shat on
everybody, you guys liked it.
I also liked
think we
it.
all three liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the audience said, were like, what the fuck are they
I
talking?
think that audience was fucking stupid as fuck. This was the worst. No, this you will agree.
Okay.
This is the worst. तो basically.
वो boycott audience थी क्या?
अबे हमने
हट
clickbait title डाला था और वो पूरा लोग पता है क्या लिख रहे थे? उर्दू would gone ये सब लिख रहे थे. वाला गार्ड मारा ठीक है तो yeah like don't.
No, but there was a general understanding that it's not a good movie only. While I thought it was a decent movie.
It was a decent, good enough.
भाई
film
एक से
movie.
अगर तुमको फॉरेस्ट गम अच्छी लगी है ना तो फिर ये भी तुमको उतना तंग नहीं होना चाहिए उससे.
Same.
Though I understand that people are very jaded these days. तो it's like कि कोई भी if
You either
anyone's
love a
acting-
film or you hate it.
acting even slightly like offbeat or like a little bit और also आमिर खान से लोग चिढ़ चुके हैं. आमिर खान का मैं बेचारा वाला फेस जो है ना वो बहुत हो गया. मैं भी वो उससे मैं अग्री करता हूँ कि वो बहुत ज्यादा करता है.
मुझे क्या लगता है आमिर खान की फिल्मों में प्रॉब्लम कि वो टॉक डाउन करती है. मतलब मेरे को ज्ञान चोदने लगती है जो इवन पठान में नहीं करता. बाय द वे
पठान में ज्ञान है ही नहीं भाई चोदने के लिए.
मैं भाई नहीं जैसे चक दे इंडिया ठीक है
हाँ.
मैसेज ओरिएंटेड फिल्म वगैरह है बट कभी भी मुझे नहीं लगा कि अब मैसेज शुरू हो गया.
हाँ नहीं.
बट विद दंगल विद फकिंग 3 इडियट्स
You know why that is?
PK तो full on है.
PK, yeah.
Do you know why that is though?
Why?
It's again now Aishwarya, the takes we give as writers or filmmakers is that the approach to tell the story, it's not just about insider outsider, it's also that the person is your primary character is a victim or going through the suffering of whatever experience you're trying to tell the audience about, right? Or educate the audience about. As opposed to Amir Khan, whatever characters जो PK हो गया, 3 Idiots हो गया, दंगल भी to a large extent, he is always the wise old man in the picture, and he is the guy जो आपको ज्ञान बांटेगा. तो वो that's why it seems like that. He's not the person who is coming to a realization with a passage of time or is going through something personally.
Yeah.
उसका कोई arc नहीं है ना actually. He's the good guy.
Correct. लाल में भी यही है. लाल सिंह चड्ढा में भी यही प्रॉब्लम है. He is the pure guy. He is the good guy who will teach humanity कि भाई सच क्या है, सच्चाई क्या है.
But वो actually में देख अगर फॉरेस्ट गम में तो वही था.
वही था.
हाँ.
इसीलिए उसने वो पिक भी किया ना.
हाँ.
मतलब ऐसा थोड़ा ना कि मतलब हाँ बनाने को किसी ने बोला था, उसी ने बनाया ना.
उसी ने बनाया.
So he knew that this is what he was getting into. So but yeah.
I remember एक बहुत funny story जो मैं तुम लोगों को बता चुका हूँ, but I want to share with our podcast listeners.
What?
कि मेरे एक अंकल है और एक दिन हम लोग बैठ के दारू पी रहे थे.
Oh right.
और a random nice wholesome conversation is happening, you know. It's a family dinner, people are meeting, relatives are meeting after a long time. Suddenly from a corner, I hear one of my uncles drunk. One of my uncles say, "Kutta hai Shahrukh Khan, kutta aadmi hai wo." And I'm like, where is this coming from? And I realized कि my uncle is the average YouTube commenter. Okay, तो my point is कि like when we मैं इसके लिए point raise कर रहा हूँ कि let's say our podcast अभी हम लोग 100th episode पे हैं. Let's say by the time we reach 200, okay, in the next 5 years.
Okay.
So by the way, at this point though we should, because we were at 40 episodes in 2020. We were at 60 episodes last year.
कितना
And we're at 100 now.
2017 से 2023 कितना होता है? कितने साल हो गए?
5 साल ना.
अच्छा.
नहीं 5 नहीं.
2017 से 23 6 साल होता
6
है।
साल
6 साल
हाँ।
तो पकड़ो
ये
2020
humanities वाले
तो 2029 expect 200 episode expected 2029
पर वही कह रहा ना वो कि
नहीं।
भाई हमारी फ्रीक्वेंसी बढ़
हमारी
गई है,
स्पीड बहुत
हम
ज्यादा
लोग
बढ़ी है।
पैंडेमिक
हाँ।
में बहुत चोट
हमने एक साल तो किया ही नहीं था
बीच में एक साल नहीं किया, बट देन फॉर एग्जांपल 2022 टू नाउ वी हैव डन अराउंड
बहुत
40 एपिसोड्स ऑलमोस्ट।
काफी
सो
है।
इट्स
फाड़ दिया।
तो या तो इफ वी अगर ऐसा होता है तो मेरे को तो एक्चुअली थोड़ा फटती है मेरी कि बहुत लोग आ जाएंगे और फिर बहुत तंग हो जाएंगे हम लोग, और फिर हम लोग बंद कर देंगे कि इन चूतियों का कौन सुना है। तो आवर प्रॉब्लम इज आल्सो लाइक कि हमको पब्लिक चाहिए ही नहीं, लाइक वी डोंट वांट,
मतलब हमें मेन स्ट्रीम नहीं चाहिए, हम शायद नीश आगे बढ़ा सकते हैं। देख जितने जैसे लौंडे या लड़कियां, जितनी भी 2
हाँ।
लड़कियां जो हमें सुनती हैं,
ऐश्वर्या एंड श्रेया
ऐश्वर्या नॉट इंक्लूडेड,
हाँ।
वो नहीं पढ़ते
सुनती भी नहीं। हाँ
तो वैदे ही बेसिकली
You know, there are 2 Shreyas.
and now new member has joined, Shreya.
Shreya
Thank
Roy.
you so much. Yes.
या सो
You
ऑल
have to individually shout out देना
अरे shout out because she's a member, not because she's a
हाँ
woman.
that's
नो बट इवन आवर लिसनर्स इन women are lesser, let
हाँ
us
हाँ
be
100%.
sure of
और
this.
ना पता है कितना YouTube पे दिखता है?
कितना
12% है और
12% होते हैं और टोटल 60 लोग अगर सुन रहे हैं तो देख लो 12%। तो मैं क्या पॉइंट बोल रहा था भूल गया, तो आगे बढ़ते।
हाँ ठीक है। मैं बेसिकली बोल रहा था कि लोग, तू बोल रहा था नीश होना चाहिए। हाँ
मैं कह रहा हूँ जितना नीश हमने बनाया वही नीश में हम ग्रो करेंगे,
काफी है।
क्योंकि हाँ वो
हाँ।
काफी है। जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल एक कोई रैंडम शहर पकड़ ले, चेन्नई, वहां का शायद नीश हमने ये वाला नीश कैप्चर नहीं किया,
हाँ करेक्ट।
वो हमारा target
चेन्नई
है।
में जाके
हम लोग को अब तमिल में
हाँ
बोलना है।
तमिल में बात करना
स्टार्ट
है।
नाउ।
तो
हो गया We do
ये मैंने
try
बोर्जुआजी बाय द वे, तुमने शायद सुना नहीं है, या बोर्जुआजी पॉडकास्ट में ये चीज कर चुका हूं।
मैंने सुना है भाई, मैं
हाँ,
बहुत
और यहाँ
हंसा
पर
था।
बीप मैंने
हाँ।
डाली थी, यहाँ पर भी बीप डाल दूंगा। किसी को कोई कैंसिल नहीं कर सकता अगर बीप्स नहीं पड़े तो। भाई बीप्स आर द बेस्ट, आई जेन्युइनली एम सो इन
बीप पे सिर्फ बहरे लोग नहीं, उनका बीप नहीं
पहले
होता,
भी
sorry।
तो
उनका
ये भी बीप करना पड़ेगा।
ठीक है। नेक्स्ट, हाँ यू वर समबडी वाज सेइंग समथिंग।
कौन सा फिल्म मेकर तुम लोग को इंडिया में ऐसा लगता है जो सबसे अच्छा है,
ओके।
और एक जो सबसे खराब है, और इन दोनों अगर एक बॉक्सिंग मैच करेंगे तो इनमें से कौन जीतेगा? तो अगर इफ यू हैड टू, फॉर एग्जांपल अगर हम अभी जिंदा वालों की बात कर रहा हूँ, तो अगर जो पहले की बात करो तो लेट्स से सत्यजीत रे एंड वर्सेस लाइक मनमोहन सिंह, मनमोहन देसाई, मनमोहन सिंह वर्सेस सत्यजीत रे would be a very boring boxing match, but सत्यजीत रे वर्सेस मनमोहन देसाई कौन जीता है? तानसेन अभी
आज की डेट में।
हाँ
बेस्ट कौन है अभी? श्रीराम राघवन को मैं नॉमिनेट नहीं करना चाहता क्योंकि बॉक्सिंग मैच
Boxing match है,
है।
correct.
मैं दिवाकर को फिर भी कर दूंगा।
हाँ ठीक है।
और कौन है बेस्ट? शुजित नहीं,
दिवाकर बैनर्जी, और वर्स्ट कौन है फिर?
विवेक अग्निहोत्री।
विवेक अग्निहोत्री।
विवेक अग्निहोत्री जीत जाएगा भाई।
जीत
win.
जाएगा यार वो।
जीत जाएगा।
वो पता क्या?
upper body strength है
मैं कहता हूँ कि दोनों को खड़ा कर दो फिर भी हार जाएंगे, श्रीराम और दिवाकर दोनों वर्सेस विवेक।
भाई तेरे को, मेरे को लग रहा है श्रीराम ना कैसे भी करके जीत
जीत
जाएगा।
जाएगा।
वो पता है क्या करेगा?
थूक दे।
वो नहीं पता क्या, नहीं मैं थूकेगा पर और पता है क्या करेगा? वो ऐसा नकल डस्टर वो सब लेके आएगा, सीक्रेटली यूज करेगा विवेक अग्निहोत्री पे। विवेक ने नॉकआउट हो जाएगा और विवेक अग्निहोत्री अगले 10 साल तक लोगों को बताएगा इसने नकल डस्टर यूज किया था।
Victim का
श्रीराम राघवन डिनाई करेगा, इसका पूरी दुनिया मजाक उड़ा देगी विवेक अग्निहोत्री का, बट इट वुड बी ट्रू। वेरी फनी। I feel like this would be very funny.
I think this is a true story.
I think, what do you guys think of the recent friendship between Sudhir Mishra and विवेक अग्निहोत्री?
What?
तो
Oh,
पता है
yeah,
ना,
yeah,
वापस से
yeah.
ट्वीट किया इन दोनों ने एक दूसरे को।
क्या
अच्छा
किया?
तो विवेक तो पहले तो बेसिकली फॉर अ टाइमलाइन फॉर पीपल, द टाइमलाइन स्टार्ट्स इन 1980s when Sudhir Mishra was a young lad. नहीं, so
Was he ever young?
That's an interesting question. Yeah.
So basically this dude is a little bit to the left, and he
Which
Sudhir Mishra
of course.
compared to Vivek Agnihotri.
Yeah, yeah.
So Vivek Agnihotri is a full on right wing nut job filmmaker. तो बेसिकली इसने ट्विटर पर पूछा विवेक अग्निहोत्री ने कि मुझसे आप बात करने आएंगे सुधीर मिश्रा को, कि मेरे से ये लेफ्ट विंग वाले लोग बात, तो दे हैड अ चूतिया कॉन्वर्सेशन,
बहुत ही
हाँ।
रैंडम कॉन्वर्सेशन,
हाँ।
फुल पुस्सी था वो।
उसके बाद
हाँ।
सुधीर मिश्रा रिसेंटली पुट अप अ फकिंग, जब भी फेसबुक नया आया था और 8th स्टैंडर्ड में 9th स्टैंडर्ड में किसी का ब्रेकअप हो जाता था, फिर वो लोग एक स्लाई स्टेटस डालते थे कि your friends are not truly your friends until they show you
ये
your,
अब भी इंस्टा पे होता है बट
हाँ, तो वो मतलब वो जो तभी मेरे को तभी याद है कि वो लोग ऐसे टाइप कर. तो सुधीर मिश्रा डिड दैट अबाउट द फिल्म इंडस्ट्री. तो उसने ट्विटर पे डाला कि योर फ्रेंड्स आर नॉट ऐसा. तो उसको विवेक अग्निहोत्री ने कोट ट्वीट किया, सर ये साली जिंदगी आपसे बेहतर कौन जानता है. ठीक है, तो फिर सुधीर मिश्रा ने बोला यस लेट्स डू अनदर एपिसोड सून, लेट्स टॉक अगेन. तो तुम लोगों को क्या लगता है ऐसी दोस्तियों के बारे में?
भाई आई थिंक सुधीर मिश्रा सॉफ्ट हो गया है. Because even on that podcast, he was pulling his punches. He was really. Have you heard it, Himanshu?
Which podcast?
Bhai, he did an episode with Vivek Ranjan Agnihotri on Vivek's thing, and they discussed about the left versus the right, and it was such a lame, like stupid fucking conversation.
I couldn't think of two worse people to argue for left versus right, because even Sudhir Mishra, I really love him as a filmmaker and I love the ideas that he presents artistically and culturally.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's the best advocate for any kind of political movement.
Yeah, because he is disillusioned constantly with everything. He is always, if you look at his interviews or even his films, they reek of just political disillusionment.
वो पैदा ही disillusioned हुआ था.
ये साली जिंदगी अगर तुम लोग देखो, people say oh it's a left leaning, but it's not left leaning at all. It basically shits on the left if you see it properly. Properly nahi, if you just watch it. So, but yeah, anyway, enough political discourse.
Correct, sorry.
We are formerly called
politically
not
incorrect.
now. Because now we have Himanshu.
You know?
He's not political, इस वजह से.
I am not.
He's just incorrect.
Oh, snap.
I'm just kidding.
हम लोग फालतू इसका केस ले रहे हैं.
हाँ, correct.
Just for the mic. हम लोग usually life में नहीं करते हैं ऐसा.
नहीं करते हैं. करते हैं क्या? हिमांशु तू बता.
Do you feel bullied in this toxic relationship?
Because if you do, then you should.
I should tell you guys that.
No, you should feel bullied.
You should feel it. I'm kidding. Joke yaar, come on.
No, I don't feel, no. If that question is real, then the answer is no, not really. I've
But
been bullied in real life now, so I don't feel.
देख हम लोग क्या बोल रहे हैं ना, because the only person who's actually put out his films on fucking Disscontent is Himanshu.
नहीं Disscontent पे मेरी फिल्म में भी है. तो
कब थी भाई आखिरी फिल्म? हाँ बताओ.
मैं कचराजा करके.
हाँ कचराजा थी 4 साल पहले.
5 साल पहले.
वो भी co-directed with
हिमांशु आर्य. तो वो भी split हुआ था.
तो प्लीज आप चुप रहे.
करेक्ट.
मेरा लास्ट वीडियो आया था जो ओरिजिनल कह सकते हो, वो भी ओरिजिनल नहीं था बट बॉर्डर वाला 2 साल पहले आया था. हिमांशु हर साल भैंचोद आके
फिल्म बना तो लेता है. हां
ठीक है. Which has its own cult following.
No,
it does.
Cult for last वाला तो अच्छा.
Bunch of people tell me कि मस्त था. मुझे अभिषेक खान, one of our friends, he really found it interesting.
अच्छा, you guys found it interesting or not?
I didn't love it, and I've told you why. So, but I think Aditya.
Yeah. I also had issues with it.
But I remember when you narrated it, and I think all the people in the room were there.
Yeah.
It was hands down very funny.
Yeah.
So we all kind of.
Although I feel like at some level it goes into a bit of like, it gets consumed by itself, if that makes sense.
I think the like it's a difficult subject to touch, and when you're directing it and everybody has their own opinion, you can get a little.
And I think execution also, because there was less time.
No, but I also think, again, this is from my experience. मुझे लगता है जिस तरीके से तू डायरेक्ट करता है वो बहुत ही helter skelter है. I feel and I think it's the case with both of you, because you guys have not run a professional set, and this is maybe a bullshit comment on my.
No, it is true.
No, I think so.
मेरे लिए मतलब
I think so. I do think I have seen a professional setup being run.
भाई और चाहे तुम जितनी मैं खुद गाली देता हूँ प्रोफेशनल सेट को. मैं खुद नहीं चाहता कि मैं वापस उस स्पेस में जाऊँ in the capacity I was.
Right.
But for whatever it's worth, it at least what you set out to do, it gets executed the way it was set out to be. Now, what was set out to be is bullshit in a lot of professional sets.
Correct.
But at least your vision gets executed the way you imagined it.
Yeah.
वो मुझे लगता है I felt it a lot during मचराजा कि सेट पे जाके मुझे वो कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं आ रहा है कि यार ये like I remember Himanshu second guessing himself, and that's not a problem. Everybody fucking second guesses themselves, but there's a way to sort of deal with that also. And that again मैं शायद ज़्यादा बोल रहा हूँ, but I feel कि वो भी experience से आता है.
Correct.
Even if you put me in a director's chair today, from my set experience alone, nothing else, not my talent, not my greatness of director, whatever. I'm maybe a terrible director, but just from the experience of having 100 people being accountable for the time that you're directing, there is a sense of अच्छा मुझे नहीं मालूम क्या कर रहा हूँ लेकिन fuck it, I need to show that I know what I'm going to do.
Right.
Okay, this is what we're going to do. And that thing, the experience that is involved is that जो भी तुम instinct में लेते हो, that is half good. That is the experience part of it.
Yeah, you know what? I'll tell you why I disagree heavily with that actually. Because जितना मेरा experience है, I've only like whatever I've directed has been super indie. Even recently, whatever I've done, like very fairly low budget, where I would say the stress on you is similar levels because your तुम्हारा खुद का पैसा भी अटका होता है.
Correct.
So there's also that part of it. The other thing is, I think the hit rate now of like what actually, whether you actually achieve what you set out to execute, I think that hit rate would be around the same. I think because the number of films that come out, right, they were all executed on big sets.
Yes.
Correct. How many of them are good? And I'm saying nobody sets out wanting to make a bad film. On paper, I can tell you a lot of shit films, the ideas are actually great. Or they are intriguing or interesting. And they're fucked on set.
Yeah.
I just feel like there is not as much of a difference as much it is made out to be, because in the last years there's been a lot more I think organizationally there's a difference, whereas there is a lot more delegation, a lot more people to handle, a lot bigger sort of equipment, a lot of that stuff. But I think when it comes to the core of it, if you're just trying to tell a story, if you know your lighting, if you know your frames, if you know all of that, I think you should be, as long as you get past the initial daunting stage, I think you can be.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I'm on the same side.
Yeah.
I'm not saying कि बड़ी फिल्में ये सही करती हैं. मैं कह रहा हूँ बड़ी फिल्मों से ये सीख के आप इसमें अप्लाई कर सकते हो. मैं ये बता रहा हूँ. The fact that you are not second guessing yourself. You're not second guessing your lighting. You're not second guessing your frames. You have a clear line of hierarchy. That's all. ये चीज आप सीख सकते हो वहां से, and you can completely disregard whatever the fuck they make.
Right.
मुझे वो चीज मिसिंग लगी थी सेट पे. मैं बस ये बता रहा हूँ.
नहीं, वो मुझे भी लगी थी, and I think that is not. I think that is a little. That is not applied to all smaller sets, is what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
So I think, and Himanshu का वो style है. From college हम जानते हैं उसको.
नहीं, but
he has a style of which, when it works, it fucking kills. Right? Like with his degree film, Himanshu or a degree film, it was also, you did not have you had some sort of a set plan.
Like I didn't have a script.
he didn't have a
Exactly. So, but you still had fictional moments in it, right?
Yeah.
So you had a plot, you had all that stuff, but it was all brought together much later.
Correct.
So I think the hit rate with both is around the same. Is what I'm saying.
नहीं, but my point is there are certain stories that lend themselves better to a certain style, right?
Of course.
मुझे लगता है ये story के लिए या ये तरीका of shooting के लिए शायद थोड़ा more organization required था.
Pre-production and like writing में ना I should have given more time.
Writing तो मुझे लगता है सही थी बिल्कुल. मुझे लगता है तुझे थोड़ा सा एक तेरा उस टाइम ये था कि भाई दो दिन है 3 दिन है शूट करना है.
Yeah.
तेरा ये एक desperation था उस टाइम कि we just have to shoot it.
Yeah.
And I remember both of us saying कि भाई time ले ले, give yourself some
नहीं,
time
but
to
see,
sort of.
Mumbai is a place you can't just come and stay for a long time. I had a window of 2 weeks and I knew कि उसके बाद जाना ही है घर. And I've seen कि I've thought about it, that I'll go to Mumbai, make a short film and come back. I've thought about it a lot when I was in Guwahati. And this is the only time I've done it.
Yeah.
And I've realized कि this is the toughest shit ever.
It is.
It's not easy to go to another city, just stay there for 2 weeks, make a short film and come back. It's not easy. It doesn't make any sense. Like you will be ekdam in a full chaos mode the whole time. So I still wanted to do it once to tell myself कि एक बार तो किया, क्योंकि अगर एक बार भी नहीं किया और सोचते रह गए तो वो प्रॉब्लम है. तो मैंने कर दिया, एक बार के लिए कर दिया, चाहे जैसा भी निकला. I wanted to, एक होता है ना, just push it, go for it. Now I know I wouldn't probably do it again. Now I'm scared of these things. Like
Because it's expensive more than anything else, I feel.
Not more than that. I feel like the key of filmmaking, na, it goes away over the years, right? Like everybody is enamored by the idea of being a director, but after a bit it goes away, and I
it
feel
goes
like,
away for you maybe.
No, it doesn't go away for me.
No,
It
not
is
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But he's speaking more generally. So
a lot of people want to be directors, right? Lots of people want to tell stories and all. over the years it dies only, na? Over the years it
No.
everything
देख भाई
goes
ऐसा नहीं है.
down.
I'll tell you what. I'll give you an example. हम लोग जब college गए थे and we were all in SCMC, which was a film school kind of. In the first year when we showed up, so just to give our audience some clarity, first year would be foundation year where you would study film, ad, PR and journalism.
Yeah.
Second year you would be into other categories and then fourth year एकदम ही specialized film, journal, ad और PR. तो ऐसा होता था. First year में I remember when we were asked by a director कि how many of you all want to join which specialization. So film में there were around 80 to 90 people had raised their hand out of a batch of 140. I very clearly remember this. If you have to do film, if you want to choose the film one, then there could only be 40. 40 top students would only be allowed to choose their priority of whatever specialization. So by the end of the first year, I remember half the people had completely given up on that full on. Because in that year we were shown so many movies. सुबह 9 बजे उठ के तुमको ब्लैक एंड व्हाइट मूवी कोई 40s की दिखा रहा है तो वो वही देखेगा जो सच में इंटरेस्टेड है. उसी तरीके से अगर कोई बॉम्बे आ रहा है और अगर उसका एम्बिशन है हिमांशु तेरा एम्बिशन कुछ अलग हो सकता है. इट डजंट मीन यू आर नॉट अ फिल्म मेकर और डोंट वांट टू बी अ फिल्म मेकर. आई बिलीव यू विल कंटिन्यू टू मेक शॉर्ट फिल्म्स इवन टिल यू आर लाइक 80. ओके, so that doesn't mean your ambition to be a filmmaker has died.
No, it has.
So
I'll tell you what.
I don't think so.
I think every director or a storyteller has a set number of stories to tell, and after you exhaust them, you are done.
Okay.
And I think I've exhausted myself.
But you still make movies?
नहीं ना, मछराजा बनाया उसके बाद I think I've exhausted.
मछराजा अभी तो बनाया तूने.
So that feels like the last.
भाई तू अभी इसका भी नहीं हुआ है. मतलब at the cost of sounding like a fucking therapist here.
Yeah.
But don't fucking give up yet.
No, I think see देख कितना कोशिश कर लो देख हर जन नहीं.
Sorry.
You have to understand this. You can't keep doing this shit. You can't keep making films if fucking nobody's watching, if nobody gives a fuck, if it's bullshit. I think at some point you have to understand कि you might have had a dream a long time ago, but it might not work out now. And right now, if you don't have a story to tell, understand that you're not really wanting to become a filmmaker.
And that has come for you. That time has come
So
for you.
Macharaja to मुझे लगा was the last straw. Like fuck it now. After this, I don't have anything to tell, and I don't even want to tell anybody anything. Like,
Why?
there's no need.
Just.
Yeah, I've given a good decade. I've made one film per year for a decade.
Yeah.
I've made 11 films over a period of 10 years. I think I have told everything I wanted to tell.
This is the worst. This is the most silliest thing I've heard in my life. That is not possible only because you don't know who. Half the people start filmmaking at the age of 30. Okay, you don't even know who you are.
Okay, but
like how are you making this grand statement? You don't. I am 100% sure कि तेरे को ना 2 साल बाद कोई पागल ऐसा आइडिया आएगा और तू उन लोगों को भेजेगा वही चीज और तू बोलेगा ये बनाते. It's not.
तू अभी भी जब आया बॉम्बे तो तू बोला यार कुछ बनाते हैं. तो वो
मैंने शॉर्ट फिल्म नहीं बोला. मैंने बोला स्केच बनाते हैं for the channel, like as कि for the channel specifically a sketch between this because मुझे अब short film नहीं बनाना. That thing is done.
But what I was trying to say earlier was that it's not about it dying. It's okay. It's like this. जैसे मैं बता रहा था, people were sifted through in first year of college.
Yes.
That whether you are actually interested or you're not interested. एक तो वो चीज होती है. There are lots of people where because especially it's film. A lot of people are just enamored by it, or they genuinely enjoy being on set. Some of those people are actually damn good on set because you need that kind of personality. The same people who really get excited during like college festivals with the walkie-talkie, some of those people love being on set with the walkie-talkie. And that's God bless them for that. But that is their interest. A lot of those people, I believe, will find other ways to make money from this business. And not necessarily filmmaking.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean their filmmaking thing has died. It might have never happened or existed.
हाँ, and you might have realized midway कि मुझे ये नहीं ये चाहिए.
हाँ, and that doesn't. एक तो वो चीज़. दूसरी चीज़, I think like for personally अगर मैं बोलूँ, मेरा filmmaking का वो die नहीं हुआ है. बस जो possibilities है वो limit हो गई है दिमाग में, है ना? कि in your head because everyone starts off thinking in their head. Whoever my favorite filmmaker is, वो filmmaker ने 25 की एज पे ये फिल्म बनाई थी. तो 25 तक I also have to make myself इतना काबिल कि I can also make this film. पर वो घंटा ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता.
धीरे-धीरे ऐसे सारे माइलस्टोन मिस हो जाते हैं. पहली, दूसरी, तीसरी.
जैसे if you wanted to open for India when you were a child, वो धीरे धीरे 15 के हो गए तो लगा कि
16
यार मैं स्पिनर बन सकता हूँ क्या मैं कुछ लेट एरा 35-year-old मैजिकल स्पिनर हु एंटर्स
प्रवीण तांबे ने
प्रवीण तांबे
हाँ।
वरुण चक्रवर्ती टाइप
धोनी हिमसेल्फ
धोनी okay yeah relatively
later only ना 25-27
वो ऐसा feel I just think like this shit doesn't die, it's not died for Himanshu also. I think if you're like, if you really love cinema, which all of us do, I know for a fact, because a lot of people from our batch, you know, people who are into movies who are far more successful than some of us also.
yeah.
I don't feel like the cinema that I don't think they could do 100 episodes on movies. The fact that we are fucking talking about movies, we have filled 100 episodes talking to various filmmakers, guests, critics, everybody, and we still have a lot of shit to say about movies, means that we have a lot of opinions and we are fairly cued into this culture, so much so that it is a disease that is stuck now. अब ये मरने के साथ ही जाएगा. मेरे को तो ये लगता है.
नहीं, तू अपने लिए बोल सकता है, मैं अपने लिए बोल सकता हूँ, बट आई एग्री दैट हिमांशु हैज, if he feels this, he feels this, right?
Because he's not in the rat race of it. That's why he feels, because he feels distant right now. But the moment another good idea will come, he will as quickly.
I mean, I hope so.
I'm betting on it.
मैं तो मूवीज देखना ही छोड़ दिया.
Really?
वो तो मैंने भी छोड़ दिया actually.
Seriously?
पता नहीं, मुझे तो ऐसा लगता है कि यार I think about it a lot कि I am a part of a movie podcast or like a films podcast, and I have stopped watching. I have not watched anything in
But
the
you
last.
consume a lot.
नहीं, so it's books now.
Books a lot.
It changes over time. It's like a phase, and I feel like if I would, I really used to love watching movies, and I used to watch like multiple movies in a single day, and that shit is gone.
हाँ वो नहीं होता यार अभी मेरे से नहीं
Seriously?
होता. थोड़ा सा
मेरा
होती
तो
है.
मुझे तो वही होता है, and I ask ऐश्वर्या, she's like भरत हम हर मूवी नहीं देख सकते because I am like हाँ ये मूवी आ रही है सब इस फ्राइडे तो ये इस दिन देखेंगे.
थिएटर में मैं देख लेता हूँ.
हाँ.
मेरे से घर पे नहीं होता. मेरे को genuinely, I think it's also as a thing of just fatigue, because इतना देख लिया है. कॉलेज में तो it used to be 2 movies a day.
हाँ.
Practically. उसके बाद भी I would say 2018 टाइप तक तो रोज ही देखते थे.
I completely disagree with you guys because the only thing stopping me from watching a movie all the time is work or the worry of work. That fills up 90% of my time.
That same with me.
है ना?
That's why I'm
भाई
not able
fuck
to.
भैंचोद काम नहीं किया पूरे दिन. ये रोज होता है.
Bro, now तो मेरे लिए भी इतना बुरा हो गया. I used to love gaming, okay?
Yeah.
I can't even game anymore.
नहीं कर सकते.
मेरे को मेरा इतना स्ट्रेस हो जाता है.
और काम भी नहीं कर सकते.
हाँ.
भाई आज तुम्हें पता आज मुझे काम करना था पूरे दिन. पर पूरे दिन मैं बैठा और सोचा करूंगा करना है. और ऐश्वर्या सेड कि यार हम we had to do a Mission Impossible rerun. हुआ ही नहीं और सिर्फ काम के बारे में सोचा और काम किया नहीं मैंने.
अच्छा पॉडकास्ट को गोली मार के मिशन इम्पॉसिबल देखे?
नहीं भाई.
पर बोली क्या 1 घंटा तो शूट
भाई लेकिन बहुत सही हो रहा है यार पॉडकास्ट तो.
एक देखो ऐसा मेरे को लग रहा है कि
नहीं भाई,
नहीं, I think 100th episode is
This is what it is, dude.
This 100th episode should be about us only.
Yeah.
That's true. Shreya and Shreya, what do you guys think about all our insecurities and which are clearly on display?
No, I think it's nice that you guys are being vulnerable, and it's a very nice dynamic, you know, which is what carries the conversations in the podcast also. And it's interesting how each of you have different insecurities and also similar ones. So but my hope would be, at least as a consumer of your content and also a fan of all of your content, that
Thank you.
y'all continue to produce things and create things.
Yeah.
You know, so you can have periods of fatigue, which is human. I mean, we all have that, and I can only imagine how much it would be as a creator, because you're constantly trying to churn out something original or a different, you know, view on something, and you're making art out of something. So art making, the creation of art it can be draining, and you can feel like अभी तो कुछ नहीं, मतलब क्या ही बोलना है, like I don't have anything to say, but maybe you need to experience something more in your life to say something.
Yeah.
So I, as a fan, as a consumer of your content, would be glad if you would say that this is a pause and not a stop.
For me, I also got kind of interested in filmmaking because like I was around you guys and stuff, and then I got very interested in animation, and animation can be a lot of things obviously, but I feel like a lot of like sometimes after listening to you guys, or like, you know, like being around the podcast and all, or like the content and stuff, if I also get an idea, I'll tell you all about it and stuff like that, because then, like I feel like I get a lot more ideas now after like hearing all of that and being in this environment and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's like a environment like that's always ripe for something,
Yeah.
you know, like that you always want to create. Like Shreya is a proper artist, so you're like creating something like something related to art, and all three of you are connected to art. Whereas for me, I'm completely in a different sector, but still I'm always thinking of stories and storytelling.
Yeah.
Because of the environment that I'm in, and also because I'm watching so much, and even if I'm watching, like I'm watching good things, so I'm thinking of also decent ideas, even if I don't write it out or whatever. I'm just glad that I have the capacity to think of that. And that comes with the environment you're in, with the conversations you're having. It's so stimulating. Like that in itself is a huge gain.
Yeah.
This is a good.
We have been told we're very stimulating very often, but so I'll take that.
I mean,
for
I'll
sure.
take Shreya's word for it.
So that is true. I can agree with that one. But yeah, man, I also find this. I agree with Aishwarya actually on this. I find this like I like another reason to like for me to have the podcast is because now that we're opening up, so like as somebody who's been working, I got off a very fucking high of college, and then that high it took a while to wear off.
But well deserved high.
That was a good high
because of let's mention it,
yeah,
right?
So Cowman you can
Because
watch on
of
this fucking
Cowman,
channel
which is
only. Yeah.
one of the best college films
Till now
I've seen.
Till now the most viewed video on this channel also,
Yeah.
despite putting 100.
Oh, by the way, two of the best degree films from our college, period. And this is me unbiased before starting this podcast.
This is me also biased.
One is Cowman by Aditya Khanna and the other is
Himanshu
Himanshu
Arya
Arya ki degree film.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, Himanshu Arya ki degree film, even kids from college who meet, why would they first of all meet me?
Yeah.
But whenever they, if at all they meet me, they're like, oh, I know you from Himanshu Arya ki degree.
Correct. By the way,
So-
people have made stickers of that film. You know that on
Oh,
WhatsApp.
really?
Yeah.
Somebody had showed
What the
this
fuck?
me that they had made stickers of that.
और तू
film
कह रहा
that
छोड़
we-
देगा फिल्म में.
हाँ. So my point
I
is.
sent this to you all.
Oh, I forget this.
Yeah,
I have to see this. I haven't
Yeah,
seen
this needs to be seen. But anyway.
So
So, yeah.
I was saying that because I got off, तो मेरे को क्या लगा था कॉलेज के बाद कि यार मैंने अच्छी फिल्म बनाई है एंड एवरीवन इज फकिंग मेरे को जॉब ऑफर भी आए थे उसके बाद एक दो तो मैं बोला यार ये तो काफी अच्छा चल रहा है अभी कुछ होगा ओके आई विल एंड द थिंग आई रियलाइज आई नेवर फकिंग पब्लिसाइज्ड इट और चूतियों ने आगे अपनी जो भी चूतियागिरी बनाई थी उसको पब्लिसाइज कर करके दे जस्ट फकिंग गॉट gigs and the thing is I was very happy in my career for a large part like जितने भी 8 साल हुए अभी it was like you're writing a lot I was writing a lot of cool stuff but then it kept getting fucking shelved so I'm the reverse Midas touch तेरे को कभी कोई भी production ऐसे this is shout out if you will pay me separately for this is that if you hate a production house
मुझे डाल
और मुझे मैं राइटर अच्छा हूँ उतना बोल सकता हूँ by confidence तो तुमको अगर उनको चाहिए कि उनका ठप हो जाए धंधा ठीक है कि उनके यहाँ पैसे नहीं है राइटर को देने को ना उनके शो बनाने के लिए तो उनको बोलो इसको हायर करो तुम्हारा शो अटक जाएगा तो मेरे 3-4 ऐसे अटके हुए हैं चीजें तो मेरे को ऐसा लगता तो बिकॉज ऑफ दैट आई फील लाइक द वन थिंग दैट हैज केप्ट मी गोइंग इज दिस also listening to a lot of other people talk about movies is bullshit and then when I listen to us talk which is basically the same conversations we used to have in college or like right out of college and all that I feel like that keeps me in touch with the organic nature of cinema because I feel like the people who graduated from college when they left that environment which was very academic very suited towards you know okay fine you in your mind you're an artist तुम चूतिया ही हो ठीक है but to become a great artist for तुमको believe करना पड़ेगा ना कि you have to have that arrogance about you and I feel like this podcast helped me maintain that because it's like a lot of people have become so jaded कि उनको लगता है कि भाई movies तो क्या ही है वो and मेरे अंदर वो चीज़ नहीं आई अब तक and I feel like the day that happens that day like Himanshu will say कि मेरा भी हो गया मूवी से खत्म क्योंकि अगर मेरे को खाली ये उसके लिए करना है कि what makes money or what makes some in fucking South Bombay happy, then I would rather do any other business, literally. Then I would do like sit behind a desk and do like some random business, cause उसमें भी same ही करना है और उसमें भी same ही करना है. Then I'd rather do that.
So then why do you do it? Why do you keep going?
Because I truly believe in whatever I'm writing, and I do think it's good, and I do think there is potential in it. And I think if you don't think that, then and it might never actually turn out to be anything. But as long as you believe in it, then that's the only thing that. And I feel like the podcast helps me because it validates that. Because it's also like, you know, we discuss. It keeps the curiosity alive, is what I believe. Also, there's just the habit of कि okay, अभी ये हफ्ते इसकी बात करनी है, तो we have to watch it, and we have to watch it from a critical eye, thinking कि इसके बारे में हमको बात करनी है, तो we have to really observe it, look it up, maybe read about it, whatever. तो वो सब, तो मेरे को that way it really helps me out.
Is it
Also,
sharpening your
yeah, it does.
skill as
Absolutely. As a writer, I see myself grow as I read some older stuff, like pre-podcast stuff, and like right now there's a massive difference. And also, you know, just the fact कि तुम्हारे दिमाग में जो भी idea है, तुम as a writer, when you write something, by the time it's released and you get a validation from the public, you moved on to probably a third project after that. इतना time gap होता है. When you submit your final draft, तुम submit करते हो,
फिर जब
उसके 2 साल बाद वो शायद आएगा screen पे. तब तो you are completely emotionally everything you're disconnected from it. So that way, this is really good for me because it's like you get immediate validation from something constantly. So it's really nice that way. Bharat, अब तू बता.
No, I wanted to ask you. I wanted to ask you because I get a different answer to this question every time I ask Aditya this. How do you like Himanshu give us a very clear idea about how he personally sees his future in this industry, which is rather bleak. But where do you see your future, both professionally and personally? Where do you sort of see you, not the podcast, not the channel, but you?
See, I've been told that whoever I have dealt with business-wise, that I have to, and this is not a lie, like I have too many ideas, apparently, and too many opinions. Is what I've been told. Like
that has been the reason why people have rejected you.
Not rejected me while working with me, and then after that, future may let's not. Even if they do work with me, it's still like a little listening, and I still maintain all of them. I was right. Okay. I get why they might not want to work, but
now you see it.
That's a joke.
While saying this,
that's a joke. That was obviously a joke. But what I'm saying is, what I see my future as in this industry, as of right now, is that I will write some things, and some of them will kind of, might make it out there and get produced and get put out there in front of people, and they'll become decent, and I'll keep getting writing work forever. Okay.
So you like that?
No.
Okay.
Because I don't want to just keep writing. Because I want to direct. And I know that nobody will let me direct as of right now.
Yeah.
Although I know that because apparently for direction experience, you have to direct YouTube sketches apparently. Because that is supposed which by the way,
also.
No, not you.
Because I've done
you're not doing that as your main thing. That's not your identity. So what I'm saying is, it's just here in the industry, anybody with a basic sense of images, of anything, can direct those.
Yeah.
A basic idea of sketches and how to do that. And the thing is, it's only off the back of that you get direction work. And that frustrates me. But what I look forward to, ideal in this thing is that I will write, and people have so far liked my scripts. So one day somebody will be like, after I put out a couple of proof of concepts, where I'm just a writer purely, where after a point I'm like, okay, now you like my writing, you see that it works. So now the next thing that I give, that I'll insist that no, I'll direct this. And I feel like
that's a good plan.
That's
my plan as well.
Yeah, exactly. So don't fucking say that this is not you. That is not it. Obviously. So I'm just saying that I find it hella annoying that I have to try to sell myself as a director, and whenever I do, apparently a short film is not enough. Or 2, 3, 4, 5 short films are not enough. Or an indie feature is not enough. Okay.
But
why?
It's not because you did not put it out also.
No, but I've shown it to people. I sent it privately. Whatever. All those things are not considered enough. But अगर एक बड़े ब्रांड ने थप्पड़ डाल दिया है और उनके 2 मिलियन के यूट्यूब चैनल पे 14 वीडियो जा चुका है जिसमें 4 कट्स हैं, तो वो apparently is you're now a director.
You're proof, correct.
Why? Because you can come on set and be a dick.
But I'll tell you, it's not that.
I'm kidding. That's
no, not even that. I'm not talking about a joke. I'm talking about why that is a proof of concept for a lot of people is because that's where you make your connections. You do hundreds of those videos. You come in contact with 10 creative producers.
Correct.
Who take your word ahead and say, okay, I like working with this guy. And the reason why a person might get this kind of a gig after having worked on like mindless Netflix, YouTube, India videos is that they are good on set.
Correct.
And a creative director will be like, ये बंदा सही है, इसकी thinking सही है.
Also, you can chill with them, or you can
chill with them, you can party with them, इससे बात कर सकते हो. They're very good. इनको जो मैं बोलता हूँ समझ जाता है और ये convey करके बना देता है. You know, it is basically a foot in the door. Getting a foot in the door and finding a person who likes you and will refer you ahead.
No. What annoys me is that when I have attempted for that also, the answer that I get, nor what I have gotten in the one occasion that I did, is like really fucking stupid ass things like, oh, but have you handled a budget like this? I'm like, what the fuck does it matter if I'm shooting something? तू मेरे को बोलेगा कि 8 घंटे में को डिलीवर करना है, क्या तू कर सकता है? और तू मेरे को अगर स्क्रिप्ट पहले देगा, मैं तेरे को गारंटी के साथ बोलता हूँ कर सकता हूँ, क्योंकि मेरे को पता है कैसे करना है वो. But they don't believe you because you haven't worked with maybe whatever, how much ever crores, right? I feel it's bullshit because if you look at history, all fucking filmmakers ever, any filmmaker, actually before this era, when it all became so accessible, every filmmaker, उन्हें एक short film बनाई होती थी. Before their big feature, right? Everyone would have made one short. उसके बाद on the basis of that they would get a feature. Now you have to fucking अपने आप को prove ही करते रहो पूरा time, चूतियों के सामने. थोड़ा डार्क हो गया क्या मेरे? Sorry.
But ठीक है, सही है. It's real.
Yeah.
I like it. बीप का नाम बीप कर देगा.
बीप का नाम बीप कर दूंगा. I don't see again. I'm not like, I don't dislike the guy. I just dislike everything he stands for. That's also a joke. I don't
that didn't come out right. I know what you were thinking, but that didn't come out.
I just really hate
seeing his face.
No.
That is alive.
I just hate these jaded motherfuckers who have large group of friends, who are employed in the right organizations, who just consistently get them work, despite... Oh, fuck it. Like, Bharat, tu bata kuch.
Yeah, I don't have anything half as interesting to say.
Oh!
What did I say?
But no, I mean, look, again, now I'm being very harsh because I get that. Everyone has their own struggle also. I'm not in their mind. ये मेरा personal frustration था रहा है because as you guys know, I have written a film, I have written stuff for people for free.
Yeah.
I have not been paid enough on it. So there is a lot of that stuff that pisses me off.
But मुझे genuinely लगता है कि तेरा time आएगा.
मेरे को चाहिए ऐसा आएगा.
वो होगा. वो it's a matter of
भाई मैं तेरे को
sticking it in there.
मेरे जो 2 शो आइडिया हैं अभी. मेरे को तो मैं श्रेया को हर रात को आजकल बोलता हूँ. मैं श्रेया को हर रात को बोलता हूँ. Are fucking super hits. And anyone who doesn't, I think, no, not just अच्छे. I think they're fucking hits. Okay. And I think anyone who does, anyone.
ये तो आप तरन आदर्श वाली बात है.
मैं तेरे को बोल रहा हूँ because I have fucking mentally calculated this.
Wow.
And I think they're hits because it feels they're in the mainstream pot of it with a different thing.
If you remember when you told me the idea for this is exactly what I said.
Yeah.
कि ये तो कोई खरीद लेगा ये लोग.
मेरे को लग रहा है खरीद लेंगे. मेरे खाली इसमें टट्टी नहीं करना है. मेरे वाली वही.
हाँ वो सब्जेक्टिव है. बट ठीक है. मतलब वो होगा ही. In the sense people can go to shit with it.
हाँ correct.
They will take that idea कि हाँ ये idea ओहो. And then they can shit all over it and make it also. But
तो ये मैं by the way publicly बोल रहा हूँ. Privately मैं बहुत ही डर के रहता हूँ. But ये मैं the liquor confidence. हाँ हिमांशु.
नहीं मैं भी agree कर रहा था. That
हिमांशु you sound like you're about to pass out.
नहीं. It's the cold a little bit. But the ideas that Aditya has had over the years have all been really good.
Very good.
And I also feel कि Aditya का time आएगा.
है ना? हाँ. मुझे भी लगता है. मैं हर बार इसको बोलता भी हूँ.
मैं भी बोलता.
I always tell him कि भाई देख hang in there आएगा होगा.
पर मेरा
तेरा ना तेरा honestly तेरा personality वो नहीं है, तेरा personality is like headstrong, ठीक है, people automatically are intimidated, they're automatically like कि यार जैसे
भी हो जाएगा,
उनके दिमाग में ऑलरेडी है कि खन्ना तो इस टाइप का बंदा है,
करेक्ट,
इसके साथ तो जेल नहीं कर पाएंगे। इवन व्हेन आई रिमेंबर व्हेन यू वर सेइंग यार मुझे जॉब दिला, मेरे को बता, मेरे को काम दिला, I remember what I told you and what Shreya also told me.
Yeah, correct.
Believe me, you don't want to
तो
work there.
दोनों ने मेरे को एक ही चीज बोली थी हिमांशु कि तू 2 महीने में छोड़ के आ जाएगा, तो गारंटी दे।
And that is
I agree to
that is a fact because तेरी unfortunately तेरी personality is not suited for India YouTube algorithm,
correct.
You know. So तेरे लिए maybe there is a longer route, but there is a route. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. So believe me when I say this, तेरा time आएगा.
But there can be, I know that I just have to hang in there. I'm just scared what kind of hang that will be. That's a joke. Come on, guys. That obviously, I just thought of the hang thing over there.
I got it.
It's a first draft joke. आप second draft में निकाल देंगे. It's okay.
Correct.
We all have to. So yeah.
But where do you see yourself in like 10 years? Because now that we have psychoanalyzed both Himanshu and me, I think Bharat का मैं एक चीज बताता हूँ. Bharat, for those of you who don't know, I think you'll get this sense in the podcast also, because actually in the podcast vibe also is very similar. कि जब मैं पहले हम दोनों शुरू करूँ, then I'll come to your vibe, which is that मेरा जो तूने describe किया clearly, headstrong, too into it, clearly, way too into podcasts and all that. मेरे को अभी भी जलन भी होती है चूते podcasters से. फिर अगले मैं सोचता हूँ कि क्या है कौन है चूते, तो देन वो चले जाता है. फिर उसके बाद हिमांशु इज लाइक laid back, but like super like in his, like he will always say something that घुमा देगा कुछ घुमा देगा, but it will always be interesting and it brings to some level, it brings some gravitas to our conversations also, and some like earthiness
and originality.
I would say
very original thought. Fucking original thought.
What Bharat brings to it and what Bharat brings to real life in his professional, this thing what I have witnessed so far, is that Bharat, जितने लोगों से बात किया ना, भरत मेरे सामने जब प्राइवेटली हम बात करते हैं वन ऑन वन, इतना डैंक आदमी है, इतने लोगों को गालियां दे चुका है ये आदमी, ठीक है, बट पब्लिक में ही इज लाइक द डार्लिंग ऑफ एवरीबॉडी ही इज वर्कड विद. लाइक वो ऐसा होता है ना एक ग्रुप में कि 10 लोगों का स्कूल का ग्रुप है और एक ऐसा बंदा है जिसका आज तक किसी का कोई भिड़ा ही नहीं है, और वो भरत वो बंदा, और एक दिन कोई इसको अगर वो बंदे को कुछ बोल दे तो बाकी 9 खड़े हो जाएंगे कि ए इसको कोई नहीं बोला कुछ. तो ये वो बंदा है, एंड भरत हैज दैट थिंग दैट ही कैन सॉर्ट ऑफ मिक्स हिमसेल्फ इनटू एनी एनवायरनमेंट and also enrich it to a large extent. So I think that is your personality. So but I also think that is his shortfall, because that I believe has the, I don't know if it has or whatever, but it has the potential in my view to take away from his original artistic sensibilities, is what I think. Kyunki as Sudhir Mishra had once said that all the people who came to direct TV, what happened to their art was so this is what he did in the documentary. So this is why I keep insisting to Bharat कि तू भाई अपना लिख, original लिख, गांड मरा है दूसरों का, you do your stuff on the side but keep writing your original thing and pitching it all the time. So Bharat, where do you see yourself?
I have never had a grand plan for the future, and hear me out, okay? So I knew that I wanted to be in this field of writing and direction since 9th standard, and my dream has till date today is the same, and it's been कि यार मेरे दिमाग में कुछ कहानियां हैं जो मुझे लगता है कि बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग है मेरे दिमाग में, one of which you've read. So I have a bunch of these kind of stories. I don't know how many there are, maybe there is a finite number of those, okay, but I have these kind of stories, and my aim forever has been कि I want to put these out in whatever form or shape I can from 9th standard. मुझे very specifically I remember the day when I realized कि यार मुझे यही करना है. It was a day when I went up to my parents and I said, it was a time when 10th standard में तुम्हें decide करना पड़ता है कि तुम्हारा board क्या है 10th के बाद.
Correct.
You have to take your fucking board exams and वो सब. And I went up to my parents and I said, listen, I don't want to take up. I was a very good student throughout, and you guys will know, like in college also I was very good, a good student. तो 9th में top up करा था, 8th 9th में बहुत मतलब मचा रहा था. तो ये था कि हाँ भाई इसको I don't know IAS कराएंगे, जो भी कराएंगे, क्योंकि मेरे भाई को IIT में डाल, मतलब IIT वाले grind में डाला था. तो at that time I told my parents कि I don't want to do engineering, I don't want to do this. This is my aim. My goal is कि भाई मुझे I want to be a writer or something like this. So मेरा वो आज भी वही है. And I don't have long term goals कि यार मैं 5 साल बाद अपने आप को ऐसे देखता हूँ या 10 साल बाद ऐसे देखता हूँ. I am only trying to get to a point where I can tell the stories that I want to tell in the unadulterated way I can.
एक सेकंड, ये तो सबका ही है ना, ये तो मेरा भी वही है.
तो
अगर इसका bare bones कर दो तो वही है.
इसके आगे
But
कुछ नहीं है फिर.
देखो ये सब बातें कहने के लिए, सोचने के लिए ठीक है,
But
बट
यही-
प्रैक्टिकल नहीं है.
हाँ बट प्रैक्टिकली और कुछ सोचा ही नहीं मैंने. एंड मे बी दैट इज अ शॉर्ट कमिंग. मेरा कोई ग्रैंड प्लान नहीं है कि यार 6 महीने में मुझे ये कर लेना है, 1 साल में ये कर लेना है. आई एम ऑलवेज एक्टिंग ऑन द इमीडिएट नेक्स्ट इंस्टेंट कि अभी मेरे पास क्या है और अब मैं अगला क्या करूंगा जिससे कि आई कैन गेट टू अ प्लेस वेयर आई कैन बी एन इंडिपेंडेंट फिल्म मेकर. लाइक एंड आई रियली वांट टू बी एन इंडिपेंडेंट फिल्म मेकर. एंड आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट फाइनेंसेस अलोन. आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट not having a person telling me यार इसमें ये चेंज कर दे, इसमें वो चेंज कर दे. So I'm always sort of building my career up to a point where maybe one day I will have the freedom to self-finance, let's say a film like right, or the best form of it. I'm not saying abhi
Right, correct.
and sort of tell 10, 15, 20 of these kind of stories. And I believe you me, I have those stories written down. I have those ideas in my head. I have it. So मेरा ये है, मेरे को I don't have any future plan. I don't plan beyond 3 months. I haven't planned beyond 3 months. And you can ask Aishwarya, like, we stayed together and...
You're married also.
We're married, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought that was known, but...
Yeah, the point, like, just...
Actually, did we tell people that...
No, we didn't introduce these.
Yeah.
I think people know Shreya.
You
Right?
know Shreya, yeah.
Shreya is married to Aditya for 2 years.
She's also done all the thumbnails.
All the thumbnails.
Yeah.
And Aishwarya has
We
not
should
done...
stop doing like 10
10 episodes से तो हम लोग
15,
thumbnail नहीं डाल रहे. जो जा रहा है जा रहा
which we need to make.
है.
And Aishwarya is my wife of 2 years, I guess.
You mean her
Lockdown
age
में
is 2
हुआ था.
years or?
नहीं, वो that would be preferable. That's a joke.
ये बीप नहीं हो रहा.
हाँ, नहीं, मैं I don't want it. to be.
Oh, okay.
It's a punchline. But yeah, that's I know this is half as interesting as both your stories.
No, so
नहीं
I-
ऐसा नहीं. एक सेकंड, एक मिनट देवांशु, तूने जो बोला है वो तो मैंने भी वही बोला है कि मेरे को तो
But
फिल्म
इसके आगे
बनानी
कुछ है
है.
नहीं यार.
तो ये तो मैंने तो इतना पूरा प्रैक्टिकल बोला कि यार मैं ये सब कर दूंगा, कोई कर नहीं देगा, फिर ये कोई
पर मेरे को ये रंजिश ही नहीं है.
पर रंजिश की बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ मैं.
कुछ है ही नहीं ना. मतलब मैं क्या बोलूँ, खाली है दिमाग यहाँ.
Like from what I've observed, living with him,
हाँ.
purely out of I don't know what.
rental.
Yeah.
Rental obligations.
Yeah.
हाँ. क्योंकि सिंगल लोगों को घर नहीं मिलता है.
हाँ.
हाँ.
तो
सिंगल और बंगाली हो तो जो
Yaar, give me
random
also
joke.
यार.
we got the house because of me, by the way.
मेरे को भी दे.
Oh yeah, by the way, we got the house because of her.
हाँ.
Because the society chairman, whatever the fuck, he said कि आप काम क्या करते हैं. तो अब मैं तो कुछ करता ही नहीं हूँ, मैं तो फ्रीलांसर हूँ. तो इसके जॉब के लेटर पे हमें घर मिला, नहीं तो नहीं मिलता. So
And
yes.
also the fact that we're married.
Yeah. Anyway, so you're saying,
And also the fact that we're Hindu.
या फिर हिंदू, upper
Hindu
caste,
also
all that
helps.
shit.
Yes.
हम लोग बताए नहीं कि नॉनवेज खाते हैं ये सब.
Haha, in your face, Muslims. This is not the Beer Biceps podcast. Don't worry, Muslims are welcome.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
हाँ.
I don't know how much of this is usable. Anyway, so yeah, just by virtue of getting to observe him very closely, I know that he has like a larger scheme, like a kind of sort of abstract plan. I want these things to happen in the future, which is he wants to be an independent filmmaker, and I feel him going down that route. So he will probably be like an indie filmmaker, and he wants to tell his own kind of stories, and he wants to self-finance because he knows that nobody's going to buy this shit, the kind of ideas that he's writing.
You guys know this.
Yeah, but like something out there, something original kind of filmmaking where he has freedom to tell a story how he wants to tell it, and also have the skill to execute it the way that he has thought about it.
Yeah, very important.
And we make enough money that we are comfortable in life. So that's his. I feel like you're happy with that.
Yeah, I genuinely am a very happy person. That is not a put on thing. That is not a. The only thing that depresses me all day, every day, every minute is death or the idea of death. It scares and इतना हो गया कि मैंने ना अपने लाइफ में assume कर लिया कि मैं कल मरने वाला हूँ.
अच्छा ऐसा है क्या?
ऐसा है. And
मुझे नहीं पता.
बता रहा हूँ ना. हाँ. So every day I think
रोज रात को मेरे को तो चाबी भी नहीं देता कि मतलब अगर मरने वाला है कल तो भाई सब कुछ बता दे. ये पेपर
इसको मैंने बताया कि वो वाला एक फोल्डर है मेरे लैपटॉप वो डिलीट कर देना. उसके बाद
और वो YouTube चैनल भी डिलीट कर देना.
नहीं तो मेरे को बस एक चीज जो अभी अगर मॉर्बिड या अपनी इनसिक्योरिटीज की बात करें तो मुझे मौत से बहुत डर लगता है. ठीक है यही सब है और कुछ नहीं है भाई.
बस थोड़ा प्यार थोड़ी जिंदगी थोड़ा यही तो है.
यही तो जिंदगी है.
हाँ यही तो जिंदगी.
इसी का नाम.
पर मैं भरत का कुछ अलग. तूने मेरा ऐसे प्रेडिक्शन किया कि अब मेरा टाइम आएगा ये सब मेरे को चूते में नहीं आने वाला कुछ घंटा. बट मेरे को याद था भरत का. भरत तू I'll tell you what will happen. You've written like fucking you've noticed right now. So you're gonna continue writing for a while and you're gonna like do very well in that. And then you're gonna move on to direction and you're gonna direct one film. Okay. And it's gonna be a great idea. And you're gonna kill it on the film, okay? And you're gonna love the film. But somebody who you thought कि ये तो मेरा दोस्त था इतने साल वो तेरे को fuck over कर देगा. टेबल पर तेरे को fuck over कर देगा. फिर वो फिल्म चले आएगी and people will like it but you will hate it. Okay, and then you will sort of lose this thing. और फिर तू बोलेगा ये सब गान बनाने गए. I have so much opportunity मैं पैसे कमाता हूँ. फिर तू वो चैनल का हेड बन जाएगा. मेरे को लग रहा है तू you have the material of like तूने बनाया सबको पता है कि ये अगर फिल्म आएगा तो बनाएगा बहुत सही बनाएगा बट इसको अभी इसके गान चल चुकी है इसमें. So now he wants to just make money. So you will be like a channel head and you will try to propagate hopefully the Disscontent podcast as a mainstream podcast show जिस पर हिमांशु और मैं आके रेडियो जॉकी करेंगे.
But I completely disagree.
मैं मजाक कर रहा हूँ. अगर ऐसा I was riffing on like immediate what can be a great this thing for Bharat जो which can elicit a reaction from Bharat. कि साला हम लोग से ऐसा पूछ के खुद बोल रहा है यार मुझे तो बस इतना फ्रीडम चाहिए कि मैं अपनी कहानियां बता दूं. हाँ भाई तो हम लोग ये वाला आंसर चाहते हैं ना रियल वाला.
भाई रियल है नहीं कुछ. Also मेरा ना alternative plan ज़्यादा etched out है. क्योंकि अगर फिल्में नहीं हुई या for whatever reason फिल्में नहीं बना पाया मैं या कुछ पंगा हो गया बहनचोद कुछ भी हो गया तो मैं properly I am 100% sure I'll become a professor. I'll either become a professor of film or I'll become a professor of English literature.
I think वो तो ऐसे ही बन सकता है. मतलब मुझे नहीं लगता. So I'll just give you a basic idea when I'm in जहाँ से मैं हूँ ना my town.
जिस गांव से तू है.
जिस गांव से मैं हूँ. If I would want to be a film professor there,
तू बन जाएगा.
I can easily be.
तो कर ना.
And so can you.
हाँ correct.
Anyone.
And I'll be really happy doing that just that.
गुवाहाटी को हल्के में ले रहा है हिमांशु. भास्कर हजारे का भी आता है गुवाहाटी से बोलना मत कभी.
हाँ भाई.
नहीं I'm not saying.
जानू बरुआ आते हैं यार.
Yeah I know they're big filmmakers, big directors.
हाँ मैं देखी भी मूवी भी देखी है. ओके
जानू जी की. भाई बहुत इसको ओपन चलेंगे भाई बीप कर दियो.
कौन है
ये भाई जानू बरुआ ट्रिपल नेशनल अवार्ड विनिंग डायरेक्टर है भाई.
ओके जानू के बाद काट दे.
ओके जानू
हाँ यू से
क्या बोल रहे हो.
गुवाहाटी में तू वो कर लेगा.
मैं what I'll tell I can tell you this that I think till now Bharat has not gotten the chance to do what he really wants to do and the Bharat material or the Bharat film has not come out yet. And
I'm
the problem
scared of that coming out.
no but I feel it's like हम लोग ही censor कर रहे हैं. Every time when we were in college and we were making like a film Bharat and
नाम बोल दे.
Shiv.
Shiv.
I feel like we censored him. All of us मिला के हमने ही इसको बोला.
बहन जो सबसे ज़्यादा सेंसर तो तू ही करता है.
हाँ मैंने किया.
इसमें से नंगाई हटा दे.
नंगाई
हटा. इसमें से पैर हटा दे. अरे नंगाई और पैर ही तो टेरेंटिनो को बना दिया भगवान.
देखो आज कहाँ पर है वो.
हाँ तो मुझे पता है but I feel like
मुझे याद है हिमांशु को मैंने एक पिच किया था कि यार मुझे ना एक शॉर्ट फिल्म बनानी है जिसमें I want to juxtapose sex and dance because both are very erotic. कहते तो बनाना. It is such a disparaging thing to say. मतलब अगर मैं इसकी जगह तो मतलब हाँ यार चल बनाते हैं यार. बता आइडिया क्या.
पर तू अगर मुझे बोले सेक्स और डांस कर रहा है तो कोई ठीक है जाके कर सेक्स और डांस में।
अरे
बट कौन रोक रहा है?
मुझे ऐसा लगता है भारत में जब भी कोई कुछ लिखा है ना, व्हेन आई रीड इट आई रियली लाइक द स्टोरी ऑफ इट एंड आई जस्ट टेल हिम देखो इफ यू ट्राई टू मेक व्हाट you have in mind and the story has like nudity, you'll ultimately not be able to shoot it because of the place where we live in, but I want you to make it anyway. So I tell him ki remove this aspect of it and then make it. So I censor him that way. I've done it a
So
couple
sort
of
of like what's happening with this podcast right now.
Yeah, kind of. भारत को बनना है गैस फॉर नो, तो उसको जबरदस्ती प्रियदर्शन बनाना वो चल रहा है इधर।
हाँ,
इधर
एक
वो
बार
चल
मैं
रहा है।
चाहता हूँ भारत को कोई और बहुत पैसा दे दे और बोल कि
Not Himanshu. Never Himanshu. Somebody else give money.
पर मुझे तो
now,
हक
now
दूंगा
the
मैं।
people are okay with nudity. Now we can
हाँ।
make
भाई आजकल तुम लोगों ने अभी थोड़ा हम लोग कंटेंट पर भी आते हैं, तुमने आजकल देखा है ओटीटी पर
It's
नंगा नाच चल रहा है। क्लास देखा है तुम लोगों ने?
all the
Class.
teenagers are having sex. All of them.
क्लास में 18 साल के लोग पूरा टाइम सेक्स ही कर रहे हैं भाई। क्या है ये
भाई
कोई प्रेशर नहीं किसी को पढ़ाई का।
पढ़ाई
भाई क्या नहीं एक सेकंड, I was not even a studious kid. I was terrible at study, but even I was stressed out.
भाई लेकिन एक बार ये इसका ना एक बहुत अच्छा एंटीथेसिस इन नो हार्ट फीलिंग्स है,
हाँ
where this girl who's like 30 or something, she's crashed into a frat party kind of a thing, ठीक है, young people, and she's looking for a guy, so she's going into individual rooms and she's expecting people to be having sex and all of them are on their phones,
yeah
and she's like after the fourth room she's like is nobody having sex? And that's true, right?
Yeah.
In this generation
एक्चुअली मैंने इस नई जनरेशन के साथ किसी के साथ भी सेक्स नहीं किया, तो मुझे पता नहीं है।
करना पड़ेगा।
हाँ करना, एक बार कर लेते हैं भारत, एक बार आई थिंक कर लेते हैं, फिर हम लोग पता लगेगा।
Yeah, after a couple of drinks, they're just
I-
like uncles only.
Yeah,
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah.
I love that the most like sexually explicit episode has happened with our wives on the episode.
As it should be.
Like, as it should be. Yeah.
कितना बात कर लिए बे हम?
140
Fuck.
हाँ.
We basically had a chat.
We had a full chat.
We had a full
Normal
chat, and
और उसका रिकॉर्ड कर दिया।
but that is what our episodes used to be.
That is what all podcasts are, Bharat. This is a scam industry. So,
People on other podcasts are actually talking about sex a lot.
oh, by the way,
Really?
this has become a thing.
What, talking about sex?
Yeah, like if you are, there are Londa podcasts. There's one podcast that got very popular recently of this shit, and they basically they are these guys. अब मैं सिटी बोल दूंगा तो बहुत नाराज है, तो मैं सिटी को वो कर दूंगा मैं।
बोल दे, नाम बोल दे।
जो भी मेरे को नाम नहीं है ना, बिकॉज अपना एक बहुत ही क्लोज फ्रेंड उस पर जा चुका है, तो आई डोंट वांट टू बेसिकली दीज गाइज आल्सो गॉट पॉपुलर। वो लोग जो अपने जो सेकंड ईयर थर्ड ईयर में जो लड़के होते हैं जो थोड़े हम लोग भी वैसे ही थे, लेट्स फेस इट, तो एजी ह्यूमर जो हम लोग लगता था, दे डू दैट। इनफैक्ट उनके पॉडकास्ट पर बियर बाइसेप्स आया था अभी, और उसने, मैं तुम लोग बताया ना, उसने इन्होंने उसको पूछा कि यू नो व्हाटएवर यू से ऑन योर पॉडकास्ट, do you believe in it? मतलब whether it's ghosts, aliens, right wing, fucking Hitler was amazing type of stuff. Do you actually believe that? And he said nothing that comes out of my mouth is not for like whatever subscribers or money or whatever. And I'm like, ये इतने अगर ये लोग झाटू हैं, तो फिर तो इनको पूरा टाइम गाली देना सबका कर्तव्य बनता है, क्योंकि यार तुम लोग willfully are shitting the bed on the internet and they get views because they get the biggest people.
Yeah.
If you are tied in with the government, तो तुमको साले कौन ही रोक सकता है। और ये beer biceps ना, the moment fucking Congress comes to power ना, ये क्या ना राहुल गांधी का, I'm telling you 100%, this guy will flip so quickly. And all, like, I feel like podcasting, when we started it, was like very different. It was like very few people are doing it. इसलिए मैं कहता हूँ थोड़ी सी gatekeeping जरूरी होती है, कोई भी फील्ड में, ठीक है। चूते एंटर होता है ना, तो प्रॉब्लम ही होता है उसके बाद at the end of the day eventually.
Beer
क्या
biceps तो yeah, I agree. Beer biceps I agree. What the fuck, yeah, that guy. Few days back he was discussing who should leave the country.
Yeah.
थोड़ा ज़्यादा हो गया.
And they said Barkha Dutt, Irfan Habib and
Habib.
Ramla Thapar. This is said by Jay Sai Deepak, a loser non-par, and nobody is at that level of losing. Okay. And this dude, why do they hate Ramla Thapar and Irfan Habib? Because they read history books which they disagree with slightly.
Yeah.
Okay. तो ठीक है, तुम्हारे में गांड में दम है,
हाँ.
पढ़ो जाके, आर्काइव है, तुम्हारी सरकार है, जाके पढ़ो हिस्ट्री, बुक लिखो, ठीक है, तुम्हारी बुक जो चूतिया किसने क्या लिखी थी, इंडिया दैट इज
भारत,
ठीक है,
something.
तेरे को प्रॉपर हिस्ट्री लिखना है, तू जाके लिख और उसको डाल. Why the fuck Romila Thapar is 90 plus years old. You're asking a 90 plus year old academician of global excellence to leave your country. Why? Because she's written something that you disagree with slightly. कि 16th century में इसने इसको बुरा बोला था actually. चूतिया. Sorry for that. But yeah.
हाँ मतलब अगर जय साई दीपक जरा सा भी सेंसिबल होता तो वो he would have shut him down, right? If I were, let's say, a right wing person and if somebody asked me this, I'd be like, चुप हो जाना बहनचोद. कौन तीन लोग चुप हो.
I think the first thing you have to say is
तू तेरा कैमरामैन और तेरा स्क्रिप्ट राइटर निकल.
Yeah. तू तेरा साउंड तेरे दो साउंड निकल. तीनों लोग fuck off हो जाओ. अभी निकलो वरना फायरिंग लाइन के सामने. फायरिंग नहीं होती ना फिर भी करेंगे तेरा ही इनकाउंटर. So
खत्म करें क्या कहते हो?
riffing.
I think we're done. ना? This was a good 100th episode.
100th episode.
Any recommendation? Let's have their recommendation.
Yeah. Divorce attorneys.
The first slam dunk.
Yeah,
That was so good.
Yeah,
We were
recently
laughing
watched it
throughout.
together.
Yeah.
It's an excellent anime, and it's like watching a live basketball game but better,
Yeah.
because it's intercut with storytelling, and it was absolutely nail biting.
So it's like a movie, right? It's a movie based on an anime based on a manga,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, very cool. We all saw the movie together except for Himanshu. So that's a very good movie. It's in India at least. Right? ये episode पता नहीं जब आएगा तब रहेगी कि नहीं.
But a very good film.
Yeah.
Catch it whenever.
Also, this episode is currently being recorded before the 99th episode
Yeah.
because we are all together in one city. And this is a fitting 100th episode.
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
So yeah.
We've
That
really
makes
sort
sense.
of dived
Yeah.
deep, na?
And barely spoken about movies. It's
Which
just
is okay.
personal. Which is good. It should. I think भाई लोग तो पहला एपिसोड ही उनका पॉडकास्ट की यार मेरी लाइफ ना इतनी इंटरेस्टिंग
जो
है.
हम 100वें एपिसोड में बोल रहे हैं.
हाँ अभी हम लोग को अलाउड है. अब हमको अलाउड है थोड़ा इंडल्जेंट होना अबाउट आवर ओन लाइव्स.
मत
It's
सुनो
okay.
बहनचोद.
हाँ सुनो मत, कोई मत सुनो.
So एक में बात करेंगे तुम्हारे फेवरेट फिल्म मेकर की.
हाँ
ठीक है.
सब मेरा फिल्म मेकर है. मुझे एक्चुअली बहुत पसंद है क्रिस्टोफर नोलन. मुझे बहुत मेरा लाइफ चेंज हो गया. हाँ ठीक है अगली बार करेंगे वो लाइफ चैट. आ जाना तुम सब.
टियर करेंगे हम. हाँ टियर रैंकिंग.
टियर लिस्ट करेंगे तुम्हारे लिए. हाँ तुम्हारे चैट भी पढ़ेंगे. डोंट वरी.
But wait, I should recommend.
Huh?
Aishwarya, you have any recommendation apart from the first slam dunk? Any of your K-dramas that you wanna recommend?
Wow, thanks for calling me out on that. But like in terms of movies, I can't think of any right now.
We can come back to
It
you.
can be
Yeah.
movie,
No, it
book,
can-
whatever, TV show.
Any media, anything.
I'll have to think about it.
Okay, we'll come back to her. You guys have anything that you
No,
wanna
sure.
recommend?
I am reading Once Upon a Time in Hollywood right now.
Oh, nice. बहुत अच्छी बहुत ही.
Yeah.
That's a damn good book.
भाई
We were
एक
discussing it. 50% है ना हो गया है.
Oh,
and
fuck.
I'm quite into it now.
भाई मैं लिटरली बता रहा हूँ वो बुक मैंने 1 या 2 सिटिंग में पढ़ी है.
Same.
Yeah.
It's a very quick read.
It's a short
Yeah.
book, but it's
It's a short.
heavily and it works very well with the movie.
हाँ.
Like movie देखने के बाद book पढ़ो
Yeah.
और better है. Like
तो ये ना मैंने सेम इसके बारे में यही बात मैंने हीट 2 की बुक के बारे में सुनी है. So Heat recently I caught it fairly recently. Heat is a
मैंने देखा है
movie
Heat,
by
Robert De Niro और Michael Mann की.
माइकल
हाँ,
मैन की
हाँ.
बहुत प्यारी फिल्म है.
yeah.
मतलब वन ऑफ दोस क्लासिक्स जो बस मैंने नहीं देखी थी. मेरी गलती है.
मैंने भी.
हाँ है ना.
Hmm.
So वो मैंने बहुत लेट देखी बिकॉज ऑफ अविनाश वन ऑफ आवर व्हाट्सएप मेंबर्स एंड उसकी अब मुझे पढ़नी है बिकॉज ही हैज डिस्क्राइब्ड हीट 2 का नॉवेल व्हिच ही हैज रिटन. माइकल मैन हैज रिटन. ही हैज डिस्क्राइब्ड
Michael Mann, brother of Bhagwant Mann, CM of Punjab, Deputy CM Michael Mann. Sorry, go on.
but he describes the movie the book the same way as Tarantino described Once Upon a Time का novel because it takes place before, after and during the film
Yeah.
का time the incidents. तो मेरे को Heat 2 पढ़नी है. Have you guys read it?
नहीं.
I've seen the movie.
है ना, और उसकी सेकंड मूवी आ भी रही है भाई द वे.
हाँ, Heat 2 भी है.
Heat 2 आ भी रही
वो
है.
दोनों ही है क्या उसमें?
दोनों ही क्या उसमें मतलब
ये दोनों ही है क्या?
I'm
रॉबर्ट
not
डे नीरो
sure.
और नायक
मुझे
बच्चन?
पूरे हीट का
एक तो भाई मतलब एक सेकंड, भारी स्पॉइलर अलर्ट, अगर तुझे हीट देखनी है तो
मुझे देखनी है.
ओके, तो फिर कुछ
नहीं तू बोल दे.
नहीं तेरे लिए ही बोल रहा था, तेरी ही चीज को रिस्पॉन्ड कर रहा था मैं.
अच्छा ओके.
कि दोनों ही है,
हाँ.
पॉसिबल नहीं है.
ओह.
हाँ,
अरे एक मरता है, पर कौन मरता है?
वही तो मैं कह रहा हूँ.
Nice.
I'm not
Okay,
saying
good save. Unlike Himanshu, who unwittingly gives all the spoilers
Yeah.
for everything, है ना? क्या होता है वो?
एक बार मैंने कुछ बोल दिया होगा.
वो तो फिर लाइफ लॉन्ग रहता ही है.
Any recommendations आदित्य?
यार मैं भी फर्स्ट स्लैम डंक करता, पर हमने कर दिया और मुझे
समझ
थोड़ा
में आया.
यूनिक होना है, तो मैं रेकमेंड करूंगा. मैं क्या रेकमेंड कर सकता हूँ जो पहले नहीं किया हो? एक
करण गिल का.
एक्चुअली
Oh yeah, करण गिल का
special है Is This It, and it's damn good.
Very good.
Although you cannot watch it, so I don't know I can't really recommend. But whenever it does come out, his new special is This It, and it's damn good. And 2 घंटे लंबा special. I think what it was released as like a, he didn't sell it to Netflix, Amazon, any of these people, and he put it as a pay as you go kind of model, and like 500 rupees per this thing, and you can watch it. It was only there for like 1 weekend right now, and yeah, it was damn good. 2 hour long specials are rare. I don't think I've seen any 2 hour long ones. They're mostly like 1 hour, 1 hour 10, 15, whatever. And the fact that he really holds your attention for the full 2 hours, and it's very tight, very very well written, and he's just a wonderful performer. So yeah, that in general, I think that there needs to be I'm glad that the comedy industry has gone through this bit of a renaissance also, जहाँ उनको पहले suddenly बहुत fame, बहुत पैसा वो सब मिल गया, and now everyone has found their positions.
Yes.
And the ones who are not that into comedy to begin with, they have found their space elsewhere, whether it's content or whether it's whatever, which is fine. And the ones who are really into comedy, who are like proper comedy nerds, like how we are film nerds, those guys are still very committed to it. And yeah, I just really love. I think if in my recommendation, whatever city you're in, try to go for actual comedy shows, because I think it's a great. Whatever people want to write fucking think pieces about it, but I think it's a great art form, and yeah, it will only do well to like for people to attend it. I tried being a comic, and I realized after a little bit that this is very difficult. Like, this is extremely difficult, and it's a very life-consuming process where you have to write in the day, you go perform in the night, you know, and it has to be like relentless. मतलब हम लोग तो comfortably हम लोग अपने स्क्रिप्ट जो दिखाते हैं दुनिया को, जो हम लोग फाइनली दिखा रहे हैं दुनिया को, हम लोग वो पहले अपने 50 दोस्तों, फैमिली सबको भेज देते हैं, सारे इनसिक्योरिटी उसमें क्लियर कर देते हैं, सारे एम्बैरेसमेंट उसमें निकाल देते हैं, एंड देन वी पुट इट आउट इनटू द वर्ल्ड. उसके बाद जो भी व्हाटएवर फीडबैक हैज टू कम, वो हमने ऑलरेडी सुना ही होता है एट सम लेवल. इन लोग का अलग ही लेवल है यार, वेयर यू एवरी डे यू हैव टू एट सम लेवल ह्यूमिलिएट योरसेल्फ फॉर द प्राइस ऑफ. तो आई जस्ट in general, I don't know why I went on a fucking tangent of appreciating comedy, but I do actually, and I want to call like for example Shashwat is another favorite. I bola hi tha. I want to call him on the pod. You can try to call these people on the Kanan.
I'm guessing there'll be games for it.
They would be
probably.
Hopefully. हमारी personality देख के sir सब आ ही जाएंगे, I think.
I'm just asking the personal reasons.
What is your personal reason? You want to tell everybody?
Yeah.
Do you guys know I did this actually for Shreya during this one time during college?
Got me a Karan Gill video in college.
Yeah, of him
And I was just
naked.
like, oh my God.
What?
No, I just wanted to grab your attention. So it was so
Just him saying hi to me.
No, so yeah, I wanted to show him Bombay, and she was in Pune, and she was a big fan. So I got him to say like.
Did you tell him, "Hey, it's my girlfriend"?
Yeah, I told her. I told him. Yeah, मैं उससे बाहर जाके फिर हम लोग सिगरेट पी रहे थे और हमने लुई की बात की. Louis the show.
Okay. Did he say he likes it?
He said he really loves it, and we were discussing it.
Nice.
So yeah, काफी chill. Very chill guy.
I got my recommendation. I don't know if you all have already recommended it on the show, but it's like tying all the recommendations together. So it's a gangster genre. It's comedy. It's Japanese. It's a Japanese film called Hanabi. Fireworks.
Hanabi.
Hanabi, dude.
Fireworks by Takeshi Kitano. if you want to watch a gangster film unlike anything you've watched ever before, please watch this film. The musical score is absolutely brilliant. You will know the score because the same person has done it for a lot of Miyazaki films. So a lot of anime Miyazaki.
Joe Hisaishi's in it.
Yeah, and he's an absolute legend. And on top of that, Beat Takeshi Kitano is one of the legendary filmmakers of Japan, and we only just recently found him out, and I got to know him through Bharat, and this was completely by chance. So
you guys should definitely watch this.
Hanabi, it's called Hanabi, which means fireworks, and you'll see why as you watch the film. Beautiful, amazing. It will move you. It will make you laugh. It will make you think.
It'll make you cringe.
It'll make you. It's everything. It's like life itself. And in fact, one more thing about this filmmaker I'd like to say is, there is on YouTube there is a video of talks between Akira Kurosawa and Takeshi Kitano discussing their films, and Akira Kurosawa, a legendary again filmmaker who every noteworthy filmmaker of any country who's ever known filmmaking respects. He himself has said that Takeshi Kitano's Hanabi is one of his favorite films of all time.
Damn, dude.
Just watch it.
Yeah, so you can find this video on YouTube with subtitles. Thankfully, some nice altruistic person has done that. So check that out.
That's great. That's a great recommendation. Also to perk your interest, I'm not making this up. Bharat told me this.
Yeah.
That Takeshi Kitano is the guy from Takeshi's Castle.
Yeah.
He is
Takeshi from Takeshi's Castle.
But you guys really need to watch it. You guys will love it.
Yeah.
Aditya and Himanshu. It's like how when I was experiencing Jean-Pierre Melville's films, and I used to recommend them to you too, incessantly. Just watch it like that, because it kind of reinvents gangster films.
Correct.
In a very, very different way.
It's on YouTube, you said, no? This sounds very...
It's not on YouTube.
No,
Sorry,
the
I said YouTube,
the
she
said the
talks,
conversation.
the
Oh, the
conversation
talks, okay,
between
sorry.
Akira Kurosawa and Takeshi Kitano is on YouTube.
खाना भी pirate करनी पड़ेगी.
Basically.
तेरे पास है क्या घर पे? मेरे को भेज.
हाँ, दे दो. मस्त है. I have another
Bharat क्या recommendation है? हाँ.
So I have a poetry recommendation, and I bought this book with you guys only at Prithvi Theatre.
होश वालों को खबर क्या?
नहीं.
Okay.
So Harivansh Rai Bachchan, जो कि बहुत ही, he's a legendary poet. Before his son became the legendary actor.
Grandfather of Abhishek Bachchan, those you
Yes.
don't know. Yes. So,
Yeah. Like, anyway. So, grandfather-in-law of Aishwarya Rai. Okay.
correct.
Anyway. So,
Also father-in-law, if you believe certain circles.
yeah, well.
He's a cutover.
So Harivansh Rai Bachchan. So, let me go into this a little, okay, for a minute or so. So, Hindi poets that I have sort of late started reading, they have like a very thematic approach to writing, in the sense that they will have poetic compilations which are to do with themes, right? And that's very contrary to my idea of poetry, because when I sparingly write poetry, it is very instantaneous and it's not connected to anything at all. But these guys are peshevar poets, so they sit down and write about a particular topic. So Harivansh Rai Bachchan has multiple collections of poetry, right? One is Madhushala, which Madhushala you might have heard of, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's his most famous collection, and it's all about, these are short poems which all relate to the bar,
Oh.
Madhushala means bar,
Okay.
like a bar, right? And he basically gives all your life's metaphors and everything in relation to the bar, and how, ab 12 baj gaya aur ab daru nahi milegi types, but that is connected to life itself. Ki after a point, life doesn't give you enough, whatever, So this is a collection that I recently found out at Prithvi, where he is writing. The collection is called Nisha Nimantran, which means The Invitation of the Night, and I read it also again in one sitting.
Oh.
Yes, very simple to read poetry, deceptively simple Hindi poetry. And he basically describes the first hour of the night till the last. So he has a poem for each hour, not just hour, but each shade of the night. So it begins with dusk and how night is just about to fall, and then little by little by little by little you go deeper into the night, and it ends on the first ray of sunlight. So I find that idea very interesting, and I think this is not very novel to people who are introduced to poetry already. But to me this was really interesting that you could write about a theme like night and basically make an entire book about it, and also make each of those individual poems relate to life or beyond just what they're talking about. Like when he talks about dusk, he's not just talking about dusk, he's also talking about the death of his wife, for example. Right? And he says that in the preface, that this is my reaction to the death of my wife.
Oh damn.
Yeah. So, and
grandmother of Abhishek Bachchan.
Yeah, grandmother of Abhishek.
Correct.
But anyway, so my general recommendation is poetry, but
man, I had a while back. I really want to be into poetry, but I never seem to find a way in. But the closest I ever came was I had recommended this to you guys. I'd shown you a little bit from that clip also. Is Lallan Top pe there was an interview or there's a guest episode they had with Salman Akhtar, who is Javed Akhtar's younger brother, and he's way cooler than Javed Akhtar, first of all. And he writes poetry. He's a psychoanalyst and he writes poetry, and he really goes into the psychological depths of poetry. Like he, especially there's a very cool part in it where he recites one of his own poem, and उसमें वो मैं तुम लोग बता ही रहा हूँ poem क्या, even though I remember the poem. It's a very very smart poem. Okay, so I'll do this test over here. So Salman Akhtar turns to the newsroom of journalists, okay, and he's like, I will recite this poem and you tell me what is this poem about. And he said the poem is called Trees and Ice Cream. I love trees. I love big trees. I love bushy trees. I love trees that bear fruit. I love trees that you can sleep under. I love a few more lines go like this. Like, I love these kind of trees and I love ice cream. What is this poem about? That's the entire poem.
I'm thinking sexually.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like vagina and I don't know ice cream, but like I don't know.
Yeah. Anyone else want to hazard a guess? Although you're warm.
I'm warm.
Yeah. So nobody.
Like trees are like pubes, I guess, and the ice cream is the I mean, what?
You're getting colder as you go forward, but the thought is right.
Okay. Fair.
Yeah. So should I just say it?
Yeah.
Basically, one of the one person in the newsroom, but third लोगों ने बोला आप जब बच्चे थे तब आपको शायद आइसक्रीम खाना पसंद था, तो बोला कि तो but one guy gave a very cool answer and he was like कि सबसे पहले तो ट्री पेड़ों के बारे में तो कतई नहीं है, he said basically. And then he gave the right answer also, to which Salman Akhtar says that इस आदमी को आप promotion दीजिए. So he said that tree मर्द है और ice cream स्त्री is mahila, and it goes. Salman Akhtar explained it further. He said a tree is your father and ice cream is your mother. And the idea of the poem being that when you describe how you love your father, it is conditional. And when you describe how you love your mother, it's unconditional. I just love ice cream. And when I love trees to be like this or like this. What does that mean? That means if they're not like this, I don't love trees. Right? So it's actually such a great
proper psychoanalytical.
It is a proper psychological.
It's a deceptively simple way to say it. Right?
Exactly, and
that's what poetry should be.
I was so floored by this completely that I really found it very interesting. Though I would recommend you also to go watch that.
I'll watch it.
Salman Akhtar interview. It's damn cool. It's like very very cool. तो वो था. हाँ. थोड़ा ज़्यादा हो गया.
नहीं, I think it was a good ender.
Yeah, it was a good ender, no?
I think we should end.
Chalo.
Okay, bye.
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 Wait, if I click it, will it like delete? No. Right?
Is it even recording?
भाई रिकॉर्ड नहीं हो रहा था.
नहीं रिकॉर्ड हो रहा था. I
हो
think
रहा
मैं
है,
2
हो रहा है.
घंटे का
Press कर, रेड कर.